And we should be now live. Alright guys, welcome to another Hobbits of Cheshire stream. Just me and Josh this week, we haven't got any special guests, but we're going to be talking about two GBHL events which just happened. The doubles Stockport and Flames, which was worth 80 points, and the singles Scouring of Stirlingshire, which was worth 100 points. We both did varyingly different. I guess we... yeah, to put it nicely.
Just say I did badly and you did well. You know?
Oh, I didn't do great at Stirling. But then I'd taken stronger lists.
Yeah,
you didn't expect to do as well as
no, I
I'd
was
expected.
But
we'll be going through those lists in a bit. So first off, we're going to be talking about Stockport in Flames. So Josh, you're going to be going first. So I'll just throw Josh's list onto
we've
the
got
stream.
a collection of some of the lists basically from the events. I think it's mine, basically our list that we took, as well as I think the top 3 from Stirling. Is it the top 5 from?
And top 3 from Stockport plus your list, and top 5 from Stirling plus both of our lists.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to start with Stirling because it came first.
Stockport.
I keep calling it Stirling. Oh, they're both beginning with S2.
They're a bit different. Like one's in Scotland, one's near Manchester.
Yeah,
but close enough.
I had a similar run on both of them. So Stockport was a doubles tournament. It was 450 points, I think,
Each,
right? Yeah, 450 points a player, so 900 points total force. I think there were 12 teams, and it was a doubles, and it was the first event a lot of people who were at that one had played at since the rules changed. So I think quite a lot of people were just trying stuff out and having a lot of fun. That's what me and Ben did. So we ran. Ben ran in his half. It was Eastlings and Candish. So Ben took Amder on an armoured horse, an Eastling captain with a shield, and then 25 Eastling warriors with pikes and shields, and one of them had a banner as well. So just a block of Eastlings with a captain and an Amder. And then I took a Candish king and 2 Candish chieftains. All 3 were on chariots, and then 19 Candish warriors. A third who had bows, and it was okay. Honestly, it was better than I thought it'd be.
I was gonna say, how are the chariots? Because when we did our first stream and we were looking through the actual rules, you were pretty hyped over the chariots, and I was hating the idea of them. But I think now that you've played them, you don't think they're as good as we initially thought.
Yeah,
is that right?
There's 2 things. Like my experiences with them has been pretty poor, but I've ran into some really bad matchups with them. I think so. We played 6 games, and I think first 2 games both against dwarves, and then it was like Easterlings, Minas Tirith, and who did we play last game? Oh, we played the Fellowship last game, which was Harry. So it was just a bunch of stuff that I couldn't run over. Because so my impression of the chariots is that if you're defense 7 or higher, you don't really have to be scared of them. They probably won't do anything.
This is strength 4.
Yeah, 2 strength 4 hits, 6s. So if they're lucky, they'll run over 1 dude, and that's it. It's not too big a deal. Defense 6, you kind of have to be concerned about it, but it's still probably going to run over maybe 1, 2 dudes. If you're defense 4, though, you should definitely be scared of them because they'll go through like loads. But yeah, for the most part, I still think they're good. But we played them in Candish Eastling Force. So I still think they could be played, but they're mostly just a pain to kill. Especially when you put heroes on them rather than the warriors. Because
so you get the moves and stuff.
Yeah, the way that wounds are allocated to them is that you roll a dice when you want to hit them even in combat. And on a 1, 3, 4, it hits the chariot just like shooting. So it's a real pain to kill them. And it's not like if you run a warrior where you can worm 1 attack through and kill the warrior and then the entire thing goes. It's a chieftain on it.
Yeah.
So he's got 2 wounds and a fate. So it's real. I know in the first game we played against a Durance folk army. I think it's like a king's champion and 3 dwarves or something literally had to kill the chariots before they got to the chieftain. Because they just kept hitting the chariot over and over again.
And
they just tore for it.
I assume it's not like is the normal one like the Iron Hills where if you kill the chariot, the crew die as well?
I don't think they die. I think they take falling damage or whatever, don't they? But I know if you kill like the mimic, the guys are all gonna fall off and they're probably gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a cavalry model basically.
Okay.
But that is they can be like sorceress blasted or hurled. I have ran into an eagle with them and they tend to just die because they get knocked over and then it's just a chieftain. They're good. We played them in Candish though, so they're not as good. I actually think the best part about all this was the Eastlings.
Yeah.
Like I think Eastlings are already good now.
Eastlings
Maybe
have got
not
a good
really
showing
good.
at the moment.
Yeah.
For Stockport and Stirling.
Quite a few people have been playing them, and I think they're pretty good.
Yeah.
I think Amder's really good. I think he's a really cool profile too.
Because he's now 3 attacks, 3 wounds.
Yeah, but he's only got 1 fate and only defense 6. So he is killable, but he's fight 6 with an elven blade or an elven made sword.
Yeah.
And if you strike against him, he copies it for free. Which means that you just throw him into someone like Imrahil or Boromir, and they want to strike because he's more likely to win. But if they strike, he strikes for free, so they can't. So he's pretty good against those types of heroes. He still struggles into things that like fight 7+, but I still think he's pretty good.
Because does he have strike himself?
Yeah.
So even if you run,
you can still strike up with him, but then you'd rather not because you want to copy theirs for free.
Yeah.
The other thing is that you can call an action, and then if your enemy calls strike, you can cancel that one that you've called and call strike.
You still spend the point in might, I assume.
You spend the point in might for the other one.
Yeah.
But not for the strike because you copied it for free. So yeah, you will lose the might points. But he's really good. I think the Eastling shield, what's it called? Phalanx, where you back away 3 models. Yeah, that's really good. That's like genuinely really good. I think the Dragon Knights could be very good.
Yeah,
I think the War Priests are actually okay.
We saw a couple of, was there 3 Eastlings at, this is going on to Stirling, but 3 Eastling lists at Stirling. I think 2 of them had Dragon Knights. I know Joshua Bryant had a Dragon Knight on horse.
Had them. World Champion had them.
I didn't know Will had Eastlings.
Yeah, he ran Iron Hints and Eastlings, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But yeah, War Priests are good because it's harder to kill heroes off now, and being able to one-shot them was really good. So going to Strength 6 or Strength 10 is really nice. And War Priests can lead 12 models, whereas the other Shamans can only lead 6. Like, all Shamans can only lead 6, whereas they can lead 12. So I think Eastlings are definitely pretty good now. I think you can min-max them. I think Eastlings with some condition is pretty good. And I think Candish Chariots will show up as allies, because the army bonus for Candish isn't that important.
Are they not historical then, Eastlings and Candish?
They are, so you can ally them historical, but like Candish could show up in like a Harad army.
Okay.
As long as the original army doesn't care about their army bonus that much, Candish don't, because it's like their horses and chariots don't count towards bow limit, but it's not that important because you take I think if you do see chariot show, you might see like a chieftain leading 1 chariot, or 2 chieftains leading a chariot each, or something like that, or a chieftain leading 2 chariots, just to drop some of them in because they threaten quite a bit. But yeah, they don't do enough to like carry on their own. I don't think.
Maybe even throw them into like a Moria list if you're not running Groblog.
Yeah, that's one.
Because then you don't really care about the fight value.
I've seen other people talk about dropping them into an all-hero. Like doing an all-hero evil army and then dropping 2 or 3 Candish chiefs on chariot in. Just to threaten that go through people, and because they're a pain to kill and they bring might and stuff. But I think they're decent. I think Eastlings are really good. I think they're definitely very playable. Their army bonus wasn't very good for us though. The +1 courage seems nice, but the reroll dice, I don't think there were any of the scenarios at Stockport were dice scenarios, right? They were all 25%.
Can't remember.
Yeah, most of them were. What's the did we play hold?
Domination's 50 dice roll, because that's how we beat Calman.
Well, we never got to the dice rolls. I think we hit time in all our games, or we didn't. Yeah.
No, fair enough.
We never used it once, but they seem decent. But yeah, it was just a fun list to try stuff out. No? Just a fun list to try out. So Eastling's definitely okay. Candish are okay too. I want to try them out with the horses, but we'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you want to do yours next? Because you were 3rd, right?
Yeah. Oh god, this is. Not sure how.
Are we going through all the games or not? Because I'll run through mine really quick.
Yeah, you can run through while I'm sorting out these.
So game 1, we played Durin's folk list. Joe and Ryan, they had like Durin with his 18 half guard and King's Champion and a King and stuff like that. I'm trying to remember what happened. It was domination. We just fought them in the middle. The chariots were a pain to kill. We thought it was going well, and then the Eastlings just dropped. I think Amder got killed by Durin. I don't know if he got killed. I think he lost his horse. But it was going okay, and then one of our flanks dropped, and then one of their flanks dropped. It was pretty close, and then it just ended up we lost that one narrowly based on a couple of rolls, but it was a really fun game. Then we played Calman and Dale, a couple of you from Chester, with their Iron Hills list with a blister. That was a real uphill battle, but it was closer than I think. They rolled a little poorly, and we rolled fairly well, and it was a lot closer than we expected it to. I think we ended up losing the game off getting really unlucky on a roll off against Dane, and he got punched under. I think he lived barely because he kept on his feet. But, it was just we couldn't kill them. They could kill us. Hey Chris, game 3 was, I'm trying to remember the order of my games. I think that was against Easterlings, Sam and Tom. So just a horde of Eastlings with like a bunch of the cavalry, Amda and Kamul. Kamul compelled one of my chariots into the king's chariot. I let it go off, and he did 2 wounds to the king, and I had to spend a fate of both his mates to keep him alive. That was painful. And then they destroyed. I got absolutely destroyed that game. I did. Ben did okay, and they just wiped all the chariots pretty much really quickly. But then they got a bit gung ho with their Amda.
Yeah.
And our Amda jumped on him with a bunch of pikes. Managed to win the fight, win the roll off, kill him, and then sling into Kabul and kill him too. So Ben turned that game, and that was a narrow win. It was a close. I think it was a kind of a big win in the end, but it was a close game. Game 4 we played Angmar. I can't remember their names now.
Ronnie and Jordan.
That was it. Yeah, they were really nice guys though. That game was a lot of fun. For me at least, because
they won most sporting with a shade.
With Angmar and a shade. Yeah, it was
amazing.
But we drew Contest of Champions. This was really fun for me because they had orcs, so the chariots just went through orcs.
Yeah.
But we didn't win that many roll-offs. I think I got 2 chariot charges, or maybe 3. They killed about 6 apiece, so they just went through guys. But they just paralyzed Amda, I think, twice in a row, so we couldn't get any kills with it. We should have just swung him around the flank and dodged it rather than holding the dice. Yeah, they are really nice guys.
Yeah, we played them as well.
Yeah, so they managed to get some kills. I think we broke them. We destroyed their army, but it was a contest. So Burdo managed to get a couple of kills. Amda spent the game paralyzed. Literally, they paralyzed him turn 1. They stabbed his will, paralyzed him turn 1. We finally spent 2 might to stand him back up, and then they paralyzed him immediately again afterwards. So we were like, okay. And then the shade made it kind of hard for him to do anything.
Yeah.
I think he eventually did recover, but we lost that game. Then we played Michael and Harry, and they had Minister and Dolamroth hold ground. But because of how priority and prog moves worked out, we managed to jump on the Gondor half.
Yeah.
And the Imrahil half couldn't really get in as quickly. And we got pretty lucky on rolls, managed to kill a load of the Gondor really early. It ended up going to time because the game was... It was a really tactical movement game, so we were taking it kind of slowly, and they didn't really... I don't think either force broke, but Imrahil and Forlong didn't have their chance to just go through troops, so we managed to get a big win on that one, just because we had so many more models than them. And then last game we played Harry, and it was the Fellowship, and we kind of just... the chariots ran over, I think, Sam and Pippin.
Wow, that's rude.
Yeah, but it was actually kind of worrying because Aragorn just was going through Easterlings. Harry charged the Aragorn Legolas Gimli into all the entire Eastling army pretty much, and we were like, oh, this should be fine, and he just kept winning fights. I think he killed about 20 Eastlings before he went down. It was like, oh my god, this is insane. He almost killed Amda.
True Aragorn fashion right there. Gotta love it.
Yeah, Aragorn's looking good. But those were my 6 games. They were a lot of fun, and I think we ended 3-3. So we ended even, which wasn't terrible. Okay. You got your list now?
Yeah, so onto my list. In chat, let us know how readable that is. Because it's a lot more stuff than what was in their list. I'm not sure how much of it.
It looks good to me on the stream. But...
Yeah, okay. So this was mine and Ian Spill's list. Pulled him out of retirement to carry me to podium position. So we came 3rd overall, and this is our list. We had Ian was running Rohan, I was running Lothlorien. I think we were saying before the stream, it's not a crazy strong list, but it's a solid list. It's a decent solid list and can work quite well. There were a few times when like the Rohan were charging off, and I had to run after them with my elves.
Yeah,
So I
the
was
biggest
at
problem
their
seems to be the
march.
combination of cavalry and infantry in low numbers with squishy dudes
Yeah, which
and no
actually
blinding lights.
it wasn't terrible in a few of the scenarios because obviously it wasn't just 12-inch deployments.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see. So game one, we played against the two Chester guys, Calman and Dale, with their Iron Hills. They should have absolutely smashed us, but they just deployed a bit too defensive, and then it literally got down to the game ended on the turn we needed it to. So we had more objectives, so we just managed to scrape a win out of that one.
They won the tournament, didn't they?
Yeah, they came
Right.
first. We were the only people to defeat them. So, yeah. Second game was against the Angmar Force with Ronnie and Jordan. That was on behind enemy lines, so our leaders' warbands would sit up in the middle on their side, and then the other half would sit up on our deployment zone. It's basically you got to defend the middle force. We basically, was it second turn, we managed to jump Phaedrid, Kellerborn, and 2 Royal Guard onto a Cave Troll, one-shot it. Next turn, we then jumped onto Bird, managed to kill him off, and then just ran through the rest of his orcs because there wasn't too much orcs could do against our army. So that was pretty strong. We technically had a game 3.
Yeah, this is.
This was one of the most beardy games we've ever
This
played.
was against Joe and Ryan,
This
wasn't
is
it?
yeah.
Or Joe and Ryan. They made the trip up to have some fun games.
Yeah, we played a very fun game of To the Death, where they had pure Durance folk in a massive block, so we didn't want to charge them, so we ran away shooting them, but they didn't want to run towards us and get into range because we'd run away shooting them and eventually get a wound on their leader. We actually managed to get rid of all of Durance Fate.
He has one.
Huh?
He has
Yeah.
one fate. All
Wait,
of Durance, like
doesn't
it's
he
a
have
real.
the thing where he doesn't lose it?
That's Furore, isn't it?
Is it
He
just
has
Durance? I thought Durance.
yeah, I think
I
he
know
has-
Durance
he
got
rolls
Fury
dice.
as well.
Yeah, he rolls a
That's
dice
it,
and at
yeah.
6 he ignores it.
But we managed to pop the will.
All of Durance.
Yeah.
All one
I
of
thought he
it.
has more, I'll be honest. But yeah, neither of us really wanted to engage on each other. So I think like an hour and 20 minutes in, we've just called it a draw because
You played this for an hour and 20 minutes. Didn't even
Yeah.
shake their hands 5 minutes into the round. Just play a real game.
Oh, one thing to mention with Stockport and Flames, as well as the game, there were also oaths back from the old GT doubles days. So basically, you had 6 oaths. You chose one before the game. They had varying difficulty, and the first tiebreaker was oaths. So in this one, we had the oath where we don't want to lose any fate on any other heroes. So that's also one of the reasons we didn't want to charge in because
Yeah, so the oaths were, there was an easy, a medium, and a hard, and they were worth 1, 2, and 3 respectively. And they were things like, it was like you only spend 1 fate point, you spend 2 fate points, you spend 1 fate point, you don't spend any. And those were the
heroic combat with your leader into their leader.
Yeah, stuff like that. So some of them were a lot easier than others. There was one that was like, don't lose. The hard was like, don't lose more than 10% of your models, which is like incredibly difficult.
We nearly did that.
Yeah, it was funny because everyone was like, you're never going to get that, and then there were a number of people that could have gotten it.
I think Calvin and Dale were the only ones to get hard on that one, and that's because Iron Hills.
I don't think didn't they get medium?
No, I'm pretty sure they got hard.
Because I know I was chatting to them about it, and they were like, we could have done the hard in one of the scenarios, and they didn't take it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, maybe they picked it for a later one and got it. But yeah, most armies have like 40, 50 dudes, so you've got to only lose 4 models, which is really difficult.
I think we lost 5 or 6. It's like 1 or 2 models over. It was so close. And that was in our 4th game, which was against Jasmine and Hayden, which was another
one of these.
Another one of these. So it was contested champions. We had Theoden. They had Aragorn. First turn, they compelled a rider into Aragorn. Aragorn killed the horse and rider, which counts as 2 kills. And we were just like, yeah, there's no way Theoden's going to kill more. And we had I did note it down. We had the oath of don't take casualties. So he was like, do we just take the oath, lose the game, but get the like harder or medium on the oath because it's one of the hardest ones? So we decided to do that. Much to Jasmine and Hayden's confusion, we ran away from them, so they ran away from us.
I remember chatting to her about after him at the tournament. It was like, I'd get it if it was a draw, but you were like 5-0 VPs down. You were like, yeah, we'll take the 5-0 loss. And then she's like, but to be fair, he podiumed. I think did you podium off the?
And they actually miscounted our tournament points.
Okay. So
we were like, we were 1 tournament point ahead of Steve and Ben, but we also had more oaths.
Had it made a difference, yeah, it would have.
That's one of the reasons we did it.
Sense.
To like, well, it's going to be incredibly hard for Theoden to kill more than Aragorn.
Yeah,
so
it's probably not going to happen. So you just took the oaths, and because oaths was such a big deal, makes sense. Which game 5 more interesting?
Game 5 we had. Well, game 5 Ian had the scrap. So we're against Darren and Lucy, who were using Rohan with Gondor. This was divide and conquer. So we forces set up in opposite corners for allied forces, and then it was hold ground in the middle type thing. Because they had Rohan and Gondor both had cavalry in it, so they basically both charged at Ian. I got 2 rounds of combat in because I was running across the board for the entire game. I wasn't even trying to shoot, I was just trying to get there. Ian's dice rollings were insane. Both armies charged at him and he won that fight.
Dirty weighted dice from Ian.
Theodred is so good. He was cutting through everything. The rerolls to wounds, strength 5 on the charge is so good. It's like, sure, he's got the rule where he has to charge, but yeah, sure. We were fine with him charging every time. But that actually got down to really close because although Ian had managed to win his side, he couldn't get any models into the middle, so it was all about my force just holding it. So the good old Wood Elf spears just shielding. My favourite tactic, which was good fun. And then our final game we had a rematch against Joe and Ryan. I think going into the game we knew if someone won that game it was podium. Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Because we were the only ones. Because obviously we had the 3 wins and a draw each. So, although I guess it wasn't crazy competitive, we were still going to be having a laugh, and we were like, we are going to fight this game. We agreed with them. We're not sitting back and shooting.
They were just begging you, please actually fight this.
I think Joe actually regretted, because it was Storm the Camps, so same setup as the previous one. But this time, because we're against dwarves, me and Ian both went for Joe's force, because it had Durin in it.
So it's worth mentioning, because of how the doubles worked, there were some unique scenarios at the tournament, and deployment was weird. So Storm the Camp is normally across the board. So you deploy in one corner, your opponent deploys in the other. In the doubles tournament, the last 2 missions were both, each force has a corner. So I'd be in this one, and then Ben would be in that opposite one, and then our 2 opponents would be in the opposite corners to them. So that was how it worked, which was how in your last game they allowed the double forces to jump just on Ian while you were on the other side of the board.
We went straight for the leader's warband, which was Durin with 15 half guard, a dwarven king, and a bunch of other dwarfs. Charged in with the Rohan. We were like, we'll pin them there. The elves would come up as support. Didn't need the elves at all. First turn of the charge, killed 5 Khazad with throwing weapons from the Rohan Royal Guard, and then killed another 3 in combat.
5 with throwing weapons?
Yeah. So the first turn...
that buff
First charge, we'd killed 8 Khazad, and it was like, you could see, Joe was just like, oh dear.
Yeah, not to plan that one.
No. So because of that, I ended up, both of our forces swarmed on that, wiped out that force. Ryan's force took my quarter, but we held the Rohan quarter and Durin's quarter and killed Durin. So we managed to win that. But yeah.
And then you came third. I came I don't even know where we placed, but middle of the pack. And then we've got the 2-1 lists as well, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Let's see. I should find them. So Jasmine and Hayden came second, so we'll do their list.
So theirs was pure Gondor. Just a lot of Gondor warriors by the looks of things. A couple Citadel Guard, and then Alessar Beregond and Gandalf the White Madril.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry. Is there any other things you wanted to say about this? Because I know you said it was just sort of okay, but any other comments on like specific profiles?
Third was really good.
Yeah.
I think.
We'll talk about that at Stirling, but I also learned that lesson.
Yeah. Theoden is, if you're playing Rohan, you need to run Theoden. Just the fight value and the strength, both on the charge combined, is just really, really good.
Yeah.
Against,
if you're running mounted Rohan.
Yeah, if you're running mounted, if you're running foot Rohan, he's useless. And then Killable is cool.
I think he's okay. Lord of the West, was it any good?
Yeah, that actually helped us kill Buddha, the Lord of the West.
Because it's a reroll to win and a reroll to wound.
Yes, one reroll on each, and then if you're in banner range, you get 2 rerolls to win.
Yeah, so you're rolling 5 dice.
Yeah, which is pretty nice.
Did you take any Galadrim Guard for the Courage 6?
No.
Did you use Enchanted Blades? That's one of the new spells.
We planned on it, but we didn't. I think the only will points we used from Celeborn was to call a mobilizer command, whichever one he's got.
It's mobilize and then or
mobilize. And then Stormcallers are really good. Stormcallers are still good. Obviously,
knocking heroes over, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's still It's now a 3+ to cast. Core wins.
Mm-hmm.
It's still pretty good for 60 points. On a 6, you get all your will back that you spent on the spell. Once again,
6. Can't might. You used to be able to might it up, didn't you?
No, always been natural. Still never cast Enchanted Blades on them. So
you might. There's like very fringe situations.
The issue is, it's in the Lothlorien list, and there's nothing you really want to Enchanted Blades in the Lothlorien list. Like, maybe, but he's got 3 attacks. It'd be better. Oh, obviously, there's I don't know if this is the reason, but if they swapped around the 2 Stormcallers, so a High Elf Stormcaller was in the Lothlorien list, and vice versa, you'd have Strength and Will in Lothlorien, which would help more, because you could Strength and Will up Celeborn, and Galadriel if you needed. And then you got Enchanted Blades on the High Elf one, so you can Enchanted Blades, Glorfindel, Gil-galad, Elrond.
I also guess Enchanted Blades is worth less on those heroes, though, because they have a lot of the West. So they're already
it's all dice.
Yeah, but they're already reloading ones.
Yeah. But then you can also channel it to get +1 to wound.
Yeah, so. But
+2 to wound on Gil-galad.
Yeah. No, I was entertaining the idea. I was like, it's a good way to kill Balrogs, isn't it? Just sling Enchanted Blades, channeled, put it on them, charge a Balrog, trap it, double dice. You get like 6 dice with Celeborn needing like go 2-handed. It's like 4s by 2s rerolling fail.
Yeah, or like go big or go home plan for the contest champions against Hidden Jasmine was to run. It was never going to work, but we were going to heroic channel with Celeborn to immobilize Aragorn, heroic channel Enchanted Blades from the Stormcaller onto Theoden. Theoden charges into Aragorn. Reroll it to wound +1 to wound.
Yeah, you call winds, knock him off the horse, and then charge in to knock him down.
No, we wouldn't be able to because with the Enchanted Blades.
Okay.
Mhm. But yeah, it was because it would then be forced to wound.
Do you not have heroic strike? Because you could have just gone for a big gamble.
Yeah, I guess you do have heroic strike. Yeah. But yeah, that's
your impression.
That's what we were going to do, and then they put Aragorn behind some guys. So we're like, okay. They played it smart, basically.
So that list is we'll jump back to the Tetley lists, which is
jump onto that now.
Gondor Horde with Gandalf and Aragorn.
Mm-hmm.
Both mounted.
I
didn't play this list.
No, I played it. It was the contest champions game where we kind of ran away.
We didn't do anything.
So we didn't really do much.
As much as I did.
Yeah. But from talking to Kalman, because Kalman and Dale played this in the final scenario, Gandalf seems to be a beast now.
Well,
Alask's a lot better.
Because I used to play him in the old rules. Because whenever I was bringing a themed Gondor army, I used to bring the Siege of Minas Tirith with Gandalf, Denethor, Pippin, Trebuchet, stuff like that. He's a lot better now for the list. You can obviously lead warriors, which is a really big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Fight 5
15. He's value.
15. But he's Fight 5. He's now been given an Elven Maid sword because Glamdring used to be just a sword. It didn't count as an Elven blade. But it's just fight 5 with an Elven Blade, essentially. And he has 2 attacks, which goes to 3 on the charge, knock down to 6. So it's really strong.
Yeah.
And he's got, I think, more spells than any other wizard in the game.
Well, we don't know what
So he has all
Radagast has yet.
He has the But he has the basic ones that you'd expect from Gandalf, but then he also has Fortify Spirit, Banishment. Yeah, Fortify Spirit and Banishment tacked on. Fortify Spirit's still good. I still think wizards are really good. I think they're underrated right now. I think because people aren't trying them out.
I think they're underrated because everyone's looked at the Sorcerer's Blast nerf.
Yeah, everyone's... You cut out, sorry. So there you go.
Because everyone's looked at the Sorcerer's Blast nerf. Because obviously it's no longer a straight line, it's just the 2 models, but
I also think
people
just want to try stuff out.
Yeah.
They haven't in the last edition. But I do think wizards are really good. So Fortify is still really good. Banishment's still good. And his casting values are insane. So with Shadowfax having 2 will as well now, so he can resist, it's also pretty good. So
and then
Gandalf looks really strong.
Still the same with his reroll and the fate and stuff.
Yeah, and he also has heroic strike.
Yes, strike, resolve, and shadow.
Typical of wizards. Yeah, the only other wizard that has that is the Witch King. Oh wait, and then like Sauron and people.
The Witch King does. Sauron doesn't.
Does Sauron not have strike?
Don't think so. Isn't he 10?
I think he does. I think he's fight 9, and I think the Balrog's 10.
Oh, check.
Yeah, he's fight 9 with heroic strike.
No,
I guess
10.
like Smaug and stuff like that, but like he's the only pure wizard that has it, barring the Witch King. Does Gandalf the Grey have it? I think he probably will, but
don't know. Gandalf the Grey has some different spells as well.
yeah, he does. But we can add to the Fellowship to Stirling, so we can talk about him then.
He does have strike though. Yeah.
But yeah, Gandalf's really good. The biggest thing with Gondor is just that, I mean, they obviously brought 2 of the big heroes because they invested in the warriors, so they had a lot of points. It's picking which one you want, normally between Aragorn, Gandalf, and Boromir, I think. It's going to be kind of hard. Because I still think the Guard of the Fountain Court is still the go-to. If you want to compete.
How
there
many
are a lot more points.
12 each, is it?
11 with the shield. But
11.
now they have a sword. They come with a dagger, and in the old rules, I mean, you could give them one, but they didn't actually have one modelled on, so... But whereas now they do, but... So if you compare them to a warrior of Minas Tirith with a sword, and sword, shield, and spear, it's 9. They're 2 points more. They go up a fight value, a defense, and they get bodyguard.
Yeah, and it's the
They
fact
lose
that
shield wall.
they lose shield wall, but they're always defense 7.
Yeah, and it's really hard to maintain shield wall.
Yeah, when I played against Harry at Stirling, he had his Gondor, and also played Aiden this week. Just you get shield wall a few times, but because you have to back away before striking blows, you break the shield wall by backing away quite a bit.
Because you can't back away 2 models, they have to line it up perfectly. So you've got to back 1 inch away into a model. But then if they back away, they can't like make room with 2 to back away into base.
No.
They can back away 1, and then if it lines up, it's good. But if it doesn't, there's nothing they can do.
I think it's gonna be one of those things where the people are gonna be let off with that a lot. Like you could be like really picky and be like, oh no, that's you backed
You
out
just have
way
to call
wrong.
them on it.
But
I know because the way that we play is pretty laid back. And it's the same street for Kalman, and I remember when we played Kalman and Dale, because they had the Iron Hills, it was like, I don't think he's going to be able to get there, and it's like, and sometimes Kalman's like, I think he can. I remember Dale saying in some instances, like, no, he probably can't.
Yeah.
Because normally you're like, yeah, whatever, it's fine, as long as this is okay, but you have to be really picky with that.
it's the biggest issue with shield wall, because it can cause a lot of arguments.
Yeah. But
yeah.
I think that shield wall is overrated because of how awkward it is. So if you can get it, it's really good, but I don't think you get it as often as you think you would. And I still think God of the Fountain Court are really, really good. And you should probably run them over. Gandalf's good. Aragorn's really good. King Alessar is defense 7. Does he have Horse Lord? I think he does, probably, right?
Strider has Horse Lord. Yeah, Alessa's got Horse Lord.
As well.
And 6-inch banner.
6-inch banner. It's not is a banner, he counts as one, but it's still really good. And it's a 6-inch banner for all models, all friendly models.
Yeah, so
it's not just Gondor.
Yeah.
So he's really good. For me, it's just which one do you pick? And the Boromir, it's really tempting to go Alessar. It's all 3 are tempting for different reasons, but the 2 that they took and Boromir. Yeah, it's a good list. It's just a lot of dudes with Aragorn and Gandalf. The only big flaw with it is that if Aragorn and Gandalf don't go off, which they should, but if they don't, you're kind of just stuck with a load of box standard Minas Tirith warriors. and strength 3 isn't very good.
Because you've also got they only have 3 bows on the 3 Citadel Guard, so.
Oh really?
Oh no, 2 Citadel Guard and Barragond. So they don't really have much of a shooting
They have Madrill
power.
too.
They got
There's not
Madrill.
much. But they don't have blinding light.
Madrill as well.
Yeah, you are just relying on box standard dudes with heavy armor and a shield.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like a decent list, but.
And if you run into a strength 3 army, they don't really care about your shield wall.
Yeah.
So.
I think it's just a bit vulnerable to being like targeted, to having like utility hate, where it just goes, I'm going to take that dude out, like a paralyze, for example. And it obviously does have the fortify from Gandalf built in to really help it, which is a big deal. But I still think they are vulnerable to someone just charging Aragorn and pinning him, or something. I don't know, because then Aragorn can just kill it with Anduril. I don't know. Mixed opinions.
Yeah.
I would be nervous about taking it because it's all in 2 models.
Yeah, it's still a nice list to see.
Yeah.
It's definitely a list which probably wouldn't have seen the light of day last edition. And it's...
No, because I think that's partially just because if Gandalf the White had fortify last edition...
Gandalf and Kigalassar were just weak last edition. Warriors Minas Tirith didn't have a chance against Francourt.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see this kind of list coming second.
See people trying out.
And obviously, Jasmine's a very good player, and her brother doesn't play a lot, but from chatting to him, he seems to be just a smart guy. So, like, he may not know all the rules, but he was picking Jasmine up on certain tactics and stuff. Hey Quinn, how's it going? Might be talking about your list in a bit, Quinn. We're against Stirling.
Yeah, well, we're just doing the very last of the Stockport list, Dale and Calman, the dirty cheaters.
Yeah, these guys are very friendly guys. They only run the themed lists. Don't listen to Calman. Calman's a liar.
If you ever had to play against Calman especially, I'm very sorry. No, they bring themed lists, but he's brought his go-to Iron Hills that he's been playing for the past
It's a
year
themed list, but it's a very strong list because...
and we hate Iron Hills. Gethin and I hate Iron Hills.
My good list, my good list I've taken to like the ETC and stuff with the Knockdown with Helming guys is purely because Calman runs Iron Hills, and that list just destroys him.
The amount of times I've got like 10 back when I played Gondor, 10 like Guard of the Fountain Call with Madrill charging a single Iron Hills dwarf, and I've won the fight, trapped him, and he's just lived because he's defense like 8 when he goes to. He's not only defense 7, but I hate playing against Iron Hills. They're just so good. Pound for pound, they outfight I think every other army in the game.
Yeah.
Because they're 12 points for fight 4, strength 4, defense 8 with the shield wall.
12 points.
Are we not saying?
Yeah, points are fine. I'm displaying them on the screen, so.
Yeah, of course. I was like, wait, are we allowed to do that?
They're
really strong.
Iron Hills right now, before the Hobbit book comes out, I think it's one of the strongest lists in the game. Because
the only thing it lacks is pure utility, but
they don't need it because they're defense 8, strength 4.
Yeah, they can
fight 4. They've got the 3 heroes which these guys have taken in Dwalin, Thorin, and Dane.
All mounted.
All mounted. You want to shoot them? They've got a ballista.
Yeah, this is the ballista. I honestly think this is the only thing with the list is that once you get everything and you don't have as many models, they have how many total? 36. 36 models and 900 points. That's not very many models.
No.
That's like averaging your models cost around like 25.
And 4 of them are part of the ballista.
Yeah. So like it's a very low model count army.
Yeah.
But it doesn't die. Its heroes are ludicrously strong. So they're all fight 6 with like strength. I think Thorin strength 4, isn't he?
Thorin strength 4, Dane strength 5,
strength 5.
5, yeah.
With 2-handed burly if they want, or Dwalin can go to 4 attacks, 5 on the charge.
Yeah.
So they just kill everything they go into. Thorin's calling 3 hero combat, so he's just going through 4 dudes in turn.
And then they've got double war goat, war ball.
Yes.
It's like 4.
So they're just it's a real pain. It's so strong at just outfighting you, and it's really hard to catch any of the heroes and kill them because they don't die. Like you can trap Dane for a turn, he's probably gonna live. So you can't like catch onto an overextending hero and kill them because they're probably not going to die.
Yeah.
It's really hard to kill the warriors. And the ballista, I think, really does tie the list together. Because it makes a lot of what are its weaknesses, which is it's not super maneuverable. It's vulnerable to getting like pulled around into different places and split up. and it's kind of the heroes are kind of vulnerable to shooting. It's not super vulnerable, but things like crossbows and elf bows can be a pain for it.
But then the
because
ballista
it's so
just
few models.
blocks all the shots. And also, go on.
I was just gonna say, if threatens just killing a bunch of your troops,
Well,
because it only scatters 3 inches. It's like, if you hit with it, it's probably gonna hit like at least 5 or 6 guys. It's probably gonna kill the one it hits and maybe 3 or 4 of the others. So it just destroys things that it goes into. It makes you split up against it, which is very good for the Iron Hills again.
Yeah, Iron Hills works really well if it's in a block, and then those 3 heroes, if they can pick off like models and just get heroic combats off, they're really good. Which the ballista forces your opponent to do. Unless you got something like Shadow Lord or Blinding Light, you have to spread out against it because of the 3-inch scatter, 2-inch knockdown.
That's insane.
So you spread out, and then they just jump in with their heroes, kill you. They've got their army in a block. It's like if you ever watch Cowan play, if you ever play Cowan in a friendly game, don't let him set up the terrain. Because he always makes choke points. But when he gets to the game, he always deploys into choke points because that's just the perfect thing for Iron Hells. Then the heroes can just go around the flanks, mop up anything, and the ballista can bombard anything they're sitting back. Because it's volley fire as well, just shoot at things on the objective, and then it's a
really hard
2+
list to just straight up fight.
So,
yeah. And the other thing, I don't know if this happened to you. But when we played them, we were getting Amda and chariots into combat.
Yeah.
And because of how the new rules, you can scatter into your own dudes now with good models, you can chance it. Yeah. And because the scatter was so small, they were just targeting Amda and going, well, when he was in combat with Iron Hills, it's going, well, I mean, if we hit dead on, we're going to kill one of our own dudes maybe. But we're going to hit 4 of yours and knock Amda off. And even if we scatter, it only scatters 3 inches, and our heroes are outside of the 3-inch scatter, 2-inch thing, or there's no one that can reach. So worst case, we hit 4 Easterlings or whatever, or we're still gonna hit Amda or something. So so even it's not like the old Siege Engines where if you got into combat they kind of became irrelevant. It can still lob shots into combats. It's a really scary list, but it's very expensive. It's very low model count, and it's not super good at playing missions because
that is one thing.
It's move 8 inches cavalry, with very little shooting outside the siege engine and no real utility inside of magic.
So
with very low model count.
It's going to definitely struggle in recon and storm the camp. Struggle quite a bit in seize the prize and to an extent heirlooms.
Yeah, but if
all
you
the other missions
really
pretty good.
With it.
Capture control is fine. Domination.
Yeah. Most of them aren't too bad. It's just some that it can be a bit awkward. Yeah. But I think you just have to be awkward with it because if you give it the straight up fight that I hate being difficult, trying to wiggle out of range and pull your opponent into difficult spots because it's annoying for you to do and it's a pain for your opponent to play against. It's really annoying. But if you give them the straight up fight that they want and that seems fun and easy to do, they'll just wipe the floor with you.
Yeah.
So you do have to just jump a dude onto maybe 2 on the corner, swing your line around, make it a bit more, make them split up, make them pull them out. If you fight them in the choke, you're just gonna lose.
Yeah, definitely the best way to beat this list is to be awkward and just run around and shoot them with Rohan Cav.
Don't offer them the battle line.
Yeah,
they'll take it. They'll take it and they'll beat you down. You outnumber them 2-1, they don't care. They'll just pound for pound.
I think the only times I've had success, because obviously I played Common quite a bit, in the odd edition, both my good army, which was tailored to beat Iron Hills, and my evil army was pretty strong because it was Berserkers, Reavers, Saruman, so I'd knock them down, jump in with Reavers, half trolls, Berserkers would cut them up. This edition, I'm not too sure. I haven't actually played Common this edition, I don't think.
Apart from the doubles, that is.
Apart from the doubles, yeah. Yeah, I know.
I'm not convinced they're OP.
No.
Because it's a pure brute force list, and that's all it does. Yeah. But I think that most of the time people just want to brute force each other because
this is going to be
a lot easier to play the game that way.
I think this is going to be a 4-2 list, so we'll win 4 games out of 6 at a tournament.
Yeah, probably. I think that's a fair description of it.
Because it'll beat the majority of lists, but then if you play against the top players, they'll probably have stuff in their lists to play around it, and they're also generally will know how to defeat the sword list.
And they're probably a bit more willing to be difficult with you and to call you out on maybe shield wall backs or make it very difficult. Stuff like that. If you aren't paying, Because to be fair, people will back away and you go, I don't think you can do that. I don't ever think those people are cheating. I think they're just going, oh, he can nudge in there, and they just assume he can. Or, they're not thinking about it too much.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that, 4-2 list is a very good description of it. So that's all of the Stockport lists.
The lists.
It wasn't super competitive events.
No,
it was doubles.
It was an unfortunate timing as well because it was a week before Stirling, so some of the players who may have gone have already planning on Stirling, so it's a bit too expensive because Stirling's not the cheapest event to get to travel-wise. But yeah, overall it was good fun. Saturday night there was a quiz which Cameron and Dale won as well.
They did.
Me and Ed nearly beat him, but I don't know how to spell Midge.
How do you spell it?
Mig.
Mig. There's actually a funny thing. So we were doing a quiz in our doubles teams, which is what we're talking about now. And I was marking Calvin and Dale's sheet, and I can't remember what it was. I think what happened is he'd spelt something wrong on the sheet in the very last one, and I was like, I don't feel happy giving him the point for that. And then I think it was Ben, someone asked, can you give them the point if it's like spelled wrong or if they haven't included the last name or something like that? And Harry was like, yeah, that's fine. And I was like, Harry said it's fine, but I don't feel like giving them the point, and marked it down. And then I gave them the sheet back, and then when it was getting really close to who'd won, I was like, if they lose by a point now, they're gonna kill me when they find out. And I was like, I ended up telling them, but I was like, if they do lose by a point and I don't tell them, it's a secret I'm taking to the grave with me, because the prizes were something Calvin was very interested in.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Pretty
good tournament. If you can get along next year, anyone who's watching, it's well worth it. It's a great venue. It's a really fun tournament, really fun scenarios. So.
Yeah, Element Games is one of the, obviously it's designed to be a good venue, so it is very good. I've actually got the shop right next door to a Premier Inn and some random hotel we went to.
Alma Lodge.
I had an interesting time.
It's a venue that's. The idea is that you book out a load of rooms there, and you're supposed to have like wedding parties there. But the rooms tend to be a bit cheaper, so that's where we went because they were cheaper than Premier Inn. But your room was... My room was directly above the function room that was having the party in. So I had a lot of ABBA. I had Grease. It's very interesting hearing Summer Lovin' with the same male on both the male and female parts. Gotta tell you, it's a very interesting experience. Luckily, I had some League of Legends to watch, so and it was only on until midnight, so it was all good. Definitely a very good event. If you can't afford the Premier Inn, give the Alma Lodge a go and hope you don't get put there, because I've been there twice, and neither times have I been near the function room. So.
Yeah, I think on the GBHL calendar, there's only 3 doubles events, isn't there? So there's
Seven Stones,
Stockport, and then Kieran also did one this year as well.
Oh, did he?
So yeah, all very, very good.
It's a really good event if you're just trying to get into it. Yeah. Really good venue. Manchester, it's Stockport, which is obviously in the Manchester. If you're in the area, I'd really recommend trying to get down to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was Stockport, and then the week after we had Stirling, which was, I think realistically most people consider the more competitive of the two. It was a 100-point event with I think 52 players, and a lot of the very good players in the league were in attendance too. So this was the one where it was like, let's see what people are really running out for the new edition. Now, before we go into specific lists, what was your impression of the overall lists there?
I was meant to get the statistics that Dave posted up. I didn't get it in the end, but it was very different from what he used to be. I think there was 4 or 5 Saurons, 3 Balrogs, 10 Aragorns.
There's got to be more Aragorns than that, right? Maybe not, actually. I felt like there were so many, but I was using him, so I was in half of my games. 4 of my games.
I'm trying to think what else. There was a lot of Gondor, a lot of Rivendell.
There was a lot of Gondor.
Mordor.
There was a...
Mordor was the most. Then it was Rohan. Rohan was 3rd most and good, which I was surprised about.
Yeah, I thought that we'd see more Rohan. I'll see if I can pull up the things. Now, the lists weren't as strong as I expected them to be.
Yeah.
Personally, I was kind of surprised because the lists were a lot weaker. And obviously, again, people are trying stuff out and they're playing the stuff that they want to play and give a go.
Yeah.
And I think even a lot of the best players are still working out the kinks of the list. Like, I played Ryan. We can talk about matchups later. But I remember talking to him, and he said he still hasn't despite playing a lot of games, because he's been practicing quite a lot with Barney, I think.
Yeah.
He still hasn't found a list that he's really happy with in the new edition.
I know.
So
Barney's been going crazy hard. Whenever I've spoken to him, he's been like, "Yeah, we've played like a bunch of practice games with this list."
So you can for that? Say that again.
Barney was saying that they've played a lot of practice games with like loads of different lists. Like on the last stream when I suggested the Harad
a week, I think.
Yeah.
With Ryan.
Just fair enough.
Just playing through games. They're the big practice ones.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can put. Yeah. So Minas Tirith was the most for good. Then it was Rivendell. Then it was the Fellowship, and then it was Rohan. Now it's worth mentioning that the Fellowship was like. There were some All Fellowship lists, but this is also if they just dropped heroes from the Fellowship into that list.
This was how many occurrences the lists had rather than how many pure lists were played.
Yeah, so for example, there was a White Council list, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't pure White Council.
No.
I think it was a White Council heroes.
I think that was Sam Jeffrey's good list. He had some of the White Council with like Treebeard and stuff.
Enough. And then for the evil armies, the most popular was Mordor, then Isengard actually.
There was a Smaug.
But
we saw Smaug.
Yeah, there were. The only two evil lists that didn't show up were Farharad, Simmerhood, and Sharky's Rogues. Thank God.
No surprise. Were there Hobbits?
200. Oh, no, there's a model cap too. Yeah, I think Hobbits didn't show up. So there weren't any Rangers lists. Not because, and I think that list's really good, but I think no one can be bothered trying to allocate Might Will Fate to each Ranger.
Dale nearly built that.
Did he?
Dale's going to bring Aragorn with, I think it's Aragorn, Armor, Bow, and 25 Dunedain. It's 800 points.
I think Halbrand with the banners bet for like dropping 5 or so. But yeah, it's just trying to figure out which one has used might and which one hasn't is a real.
You'd have to use the tokens which like I made, like the resin things.
But then there wasn't any Army of Lake Town. Normally isn't. There wasn't any Arnor. There normally isn't. They used to shove a bit. There weren't any Rangers. There weren't any Hobbits, and there weren't any Foreigners Company.
Was there any survivors of Lake Town?
Yeah, there was apparently one. Okay. Survivors of Lake Town there. I didn't see it.
No,
it might have just been allied in, to be honest. Trying to think. Yeah, I don't remember one. But again, it could have just been a hero allied in.
I think your Aragorn may have got classed as Fellowship Quinn. If you, yeah, because it's just is Aragorn Strider different than the Fellowship as Rangers?
I think it's the same profile.
No, yes, it's the same profile, so I assume that David just put that down as Fellowship.
Yeah, probably.
Rather than Rangers. But yeah, there you go. One Rangers list.
One Rangers list. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'd say the lists weren't as strong as I expected them to be because people are trying a lot of stuff out. But there was very much a mix of lists.
Yes.
Very different lists. Some of them showed up 2 or 3 times, but for the most part, I think the most times I saw a list overlap was like the 4 or 5 Sauron lists.
They were very, very similar.
Yeah, but I mean, they're going to have to be with Sauron, right? So.
Yeah, because even Jay, I think, ran Blind Numidorian's front line, didn't he?
No, he just ran Pure Oaks.
Oh, is he Pure Oaks? Because I know...
Yeah, we've got the lists, don't we?
Yeah, Jakob and Ross have Blind Numidorians.
Do you want to start from first, then, and we'll work our way down? Or do you want to do mine?
Yeah, I was going to start with the other.
I don't know, we've got mine for some reason. Do we have yours too? Oh, we do have yours. So we'll do our lists before we jump onto the good ones. Do you want to start with mine or yours?
Yeah, just getting yours up. There you go.
Okay, so I took the Fellowship in a Candish list. My Fellowship was pretty standard.
51 warriors, holy shit.
They don't. I didn't have that many. We'll talk about it in a second. Yeah. It's a standard Fellowship. I dropped the Mithril coat on Frodo to get Andoril.
It's worth noting. In case you don't know the format, so it's 800 points. You had to bring a good and evil force. In the first, third, and fifth game, you'd randomise to see which force you took, and then the next game you would take the other force, and you always played good versus evil. This can mean sometimes, like with Dale lost, like won his first game, lost his second game, but then played against someone with 2 wins, then played someone with 3 wins, because he was like at the higher, he was one of the top of like one side force, so he had to play people because people didn't do so well and stuff.
Because so in theory, it's never going to happen, but in theory, if everyone who played good won their first game and everyone who played evil lost, everyone would be playing a win versus a loss on players, because you can't play good versus good.
It can be one of the issues with the format, but then it means you're always playing good versus evil, which means you can tailor your list to be like, I'm never fighting good with this list, so I don't have to worry about dwarves or
People
elves.
have preferences too. I like not
Yeah.
drawing mirror matchups. Like we played two Amders, it was a fun game, but it was
Yeah.
kind of strange. So I prefer good for evil.
Yeah, go on.
So for my good, I took Fellowship. I dropped Frodo's Mithril Coat for Andoril because you're a bit stretched on points. But yeah, it was all 9 members of the Fellowship. Armor had a shield, just what you'd expect. No armor because points limitations.
Yeah.
And then for my evil, I took Candish again because I want to try them out. I have I think 5 chariots before assembled, with chieftains on it. So it's just a king and 3 chieftains. And then they don't do horsemen, and I didn't own more chariots. I hated painting chariots, so I didn't want to buy any more. So I just filled warbands with box standard Candish warriors. So I actually had, I think, 12 points left, but ran out of warband slots. So I was just like, well, I'll play 12 points down. So it's just 3 12-man warbands and the king leading 15. Horde of Candish warriors. So pretty simple. Do you want to do your lists as well, or do you want me to go through all my games first?
You go through any of these standout games if you want.
I'm trying to think. So game 1 I played against Matthew Wielding. He had his Rohan all hero, and I think this is a good list. I'm not sure it's very top tier, but it was like he had Gandalf the White, I want to say, I think.
It'd have to be for historical, yeah.
Yeah. And then like Theoden, Aemir, Theodred, Gambling with the banner, because the banner's really good with this list, obviously. Aemir, Hammer, Eowyn, all hero. They all go to strength 5 on the charge. The only weakness with the list is like Gambling and Hammer are fight 4. So they were kind of iffy. I misplayed a little. I overcommitted chariots, trying to like pin him on the other side of the board, because it was heirlooms. So I was trying to pin him away from the heirloom, essentially, forgetting that Rohan have horse lords, forgetting that horse lord was a rule. So even if it worked, I wouldn't have killed the horses. It ended up not working. I think Theodred, if I remember correctly, Theodred had to strike the chariots in combat, so he has 3 attacks. He goes from 5, so it's 5s to wound. Now again, I didn't know Theodred rerolled failed rods to wound, so again, I wouldn't have done it had I known that. Didn't end up mattering because he rolled 5, 6, 6 and just one-shot my chariot. I was like, oh my god! And then I rolled a 1 for the Throne Rider, mighted it to a 2 so that I'd live, and then Gandalf and Eowyn with 2 attacks each, I think, rolled 3 6s and a 1 and killed my chief, slung into another chariot and killed that. So I think he killed all 4 of my heroes in 1 turn. And the last hero was a Candish chief on foot that he charged with, like, I think it was Erkenbrand on foot and Hammer on horse. And he didn't realise it was a hero. So he just rolled Erkenbrand's 2, got the 6 and went, yeah, I win. And then rolled 4 and got 4 wounds and went, yeah, he's dead. And I was like, that is a chieftain, by the way. But yes, you do still win, and yes, he is still dead. It didn't matter, but I got wrecked that game. But the Rohan list, all hero list, is really good. Game 2 was... I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, it was against one of a new Scottish guy. I think he had Angmar with the Witch King and a Shade at Fellowship. Lords of Battle, so it wasn't a good matchup for him, and he rolled pretty poorly. Legolas, he didn't play the game super well, to be honest, but he rolled pretty poorly too. So he even thinks that maybe shouldn't have gone my way. Did. Gulavar got killed with like 2 turns of shooting from Legolas. He was really unlucky. Spent all the might to kill him. Aragorn, who out-combated into the Witch King and one-shot him going 2-handed with Andoril. It was just an unlucky game. We ended up calling it just early because there was no way he could bounce back with just box standard orcs once both the Wraith, Gulavar, and the Shade were dead. Game 3 was Fellowship again? Yeah, Game 3 was Fellowship again against Jack Randy, who had like 4 of the named Uruk Taplins and then like 40, 50 Urukai in Fog of War. Could have drew the game. It was fun. It ended up with my heroes fighting Urukai while Raskia was heroic accuracying with a dozen crossbows into the combat, trying to pick out my heroes. I forgot that I'd chosen Frodo to defend, so I just took a wound on him without rolling Fate, and then ended up, if I'd have rolled the Fate and passed it, it would have been a draw. As it was a narrow loss for me. It was a really fun game again. Game 4 I played Ryan. He had Ballista with Iron Hills. Similar to the one that Common and Dale brought to Stockport, except he had Legolas instead of Foreign. He was pretty unlucky, I think, with dice rolls, and I got lucky enough to chip away dudes. Killed the Ballista pretty early with chariots, because the chariots came on second this time, so they could roll on straight into combat because of how their movement works. So I think they rolled on, and I went straight into combat with one of the blisters guys, and straight into combat with Dwalin and killed his goat, and then straight into combat with like a Iron Hills warrior after running over one. But as it ended up happening, one of the warbands took, I think, came on turn 4. So I rolled a 2, mighted it down, a 2, mighted it down, and then a 1, and then it came on the other side of the board. But I just had too many models, and he was a bit unlucky, and obviously I jumped on the siege engine pretty early. So I ended up winning that one. And then game 5, I played my Candish against an all-hero, all-mounted fellowship with Gwahir. Dave Murphy from Ireland, I believe. Yeah. And I must have shot so many arrows into, I think I hit 11 or 12 arrows on his horses. 5s to wound, because they were all box standard horses. Could not wound a single horse. Didn't do anything. I think I caused 1 wound to Aragorn and took a fate point off Gandalf. And I got tabled pretty much. So it's just a terrible game. Pretty unlucky, I'm not gonna lie, but that one was in his favour anyway. And then last game I drew Jack Render again, but this was capture and control with the Fellowship against his 50 Urukai, and the result was much the same. It went a bit better because we were just having fun trying stuff out. So lessons I've learned: Collapsed Rocks is rubbish. It doesn't do it. It's really hard to cast. It's 6-inch range.
Yeah.
Why? It's so short. It's like it's casting on 5, right?
Yes.
It's 5 plus at a 6-inch range for a strength 5 hit. Sorcerer's Blast is the same thing, and it pushes the dude and maybe hits a second. The only reason you Collapsed Rocks is channel it, and I did that, and it didn't do like anything either. It's so bad. It's cool, but it's terrible. I also used Heroic Resolve against the Angmar player. I lost that last game. It was fun though. We're just messing around really. I used Heroic Resolve against the Angmar player. It's okay if you're Aragorn and you have 3 points of might with nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
But not being able to move really sucks with the hero. So some would say not the best. Heroic Challenge is also not very good, although we did get a challenge off. But we got a couple of challenges off between Alerts and Aragorn, but there was not much interesting happened off it.
No, it's a very situational heroic.
You can just decline it, right? Like,
yeah. I think the only person who could possibly benefit is Shagrat, because he's a hero fortitude. Obviously against cavalry, against all cavalry armies, heroic challenge is pretty good because you decline, then you can't call hero moves. Shagrat, he can run into someone, call heroic challenge. If they decline, he's got blood and glory anyway, so it just kills him.
The biggest problem is that you go in, call a heroic challenge, and if they decline it, they can't call heroic moves, but someone else can. Yeah. Not too big a deal. The worst thing, I think that heroic challenge would be a lot better if, when the enemy hero declined, you got your might point back. But it doesn't work like that. No. So you spend a might point to go, I'll call a heroic challenge, and they go, not feeling it, mate. And then your might point's just gone. Just to stop them from calling heroics, it's really not very good. Yeah. No. It's cool, but if you can find a fight that's kind of even, and like get a heroic challenge after hopefully get the might back, then maybe, but people are just going to decline it, and there's nothing you can do about it. But Lurtz is pretty good. The Urukai heroes are still good, I think, from playing them. Rohan All Heroes pretty good. I'm not convinced it's better than like 4 or 5 Rohan heroes with 20 or so cavalry, but we'll see. What else did I play? Iron Hills was good. I think Ryan just got unlucky. Fellowship's playable. It's not good, but it's playable. Like, you can win games with it. Not giving up broken VPs as long as Frodo's alive is really good.
Is your Fellowship mounted?
No. I took off. Didn't have the points. I was at one of the few Fellowships there that wasn't all mounted, so pretty proud of that. But it's definitely playable even on foot. Just getting Frodo in, not giving up broken is such a big chunk of VPs and a lot of missions. So I don't think it's competitive, but I think you can definitely take it to a tournament. And if you're decent at the game and you like play it pretty well, you can go 3-3 probably. Yeah. If you're lucky, you can go 4-2. But I think I'd expect 2-4, potentially 3-3 with Fellowship. But I don't know. In the Candish one, Candish Warriors, so that's so bad.
It's no other way to put it.
Don't get me wrong, they did pretty well, especially against Ryan, because they just go, they fight 4 with, so they just, if they win, they kill. If they win, they've got enough for them that they can kill you, but they just die. Like the amount of, that Rohan all hero list, it was like Phaedra going to 2, beat them, kill them both, into 2 more, beat them, kill them both. I was like, oh, God.
Yeah.
You know, the Aragorn. I played against Iron Hills with Legolas, and then 2 all hero lists with my Candish. So it's been a rough run for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're really bad. I think the cavalry might be okay, to be honest, but the warriors just suck. They're really cheap for Fight 4 models, but they're just terrible. Hand and a half axes are really good. Part of me thinks the hand and a half axe buff might be better than the chariot buff. Kind of, because it's more useful. Like being able to just piercing strike one-handed is pretty good, whereas before they all had 2-handed weapons. So it's kind of awkward. But yeah, I don't think Cannes as a faction are all that competitive, just because they only have one hero that has anything except March, which they have one hero that has Resolve and Strike, and he's 95 points when on foot, and he has 2 might and 1 fate. So it's like he just dies, or he doesn't. He's not that points of it because he's a 6-inch banner, which is really good. Him being a 6-inch banner is really good, but he pays a lot of points for it. It's really hard to get Strike into the list, so I'm not convinced. But they're a lot of fun to play. Pretty cool, but yeah, not that good.
Yeah.
So that was my Stirling experience. I had a lot of fun. Well, I think all of my games were pretty fun. So.
Sounds good.
Yep, over to you.
Yeah, so I'm going to start with just good. So I'll do 3 good games and then talk about the evil. So this good list is a very similar list to things I've run in the past, with Ardcar and ETC and a few other events. So it's Elrond with High Elves, Arwen with High Elves, allied with Grumbold and Gamling, all leading, those 2 leading Helmingers, all with axes. So the whole point of this list is I've got 2 Wrath of Brunens, which knock my opponents down, charging with the Rohan, supporting with the Elves, I go up to Strength 4 with Piercing Strike, Fight 4 from the Elves, and just go to town on you guys around the ground. Not as successful as I hoped.
The only Red Alliance disappointing.
No, this wasn't red.
Oh, is it not
red?
This,
no, this
isn't red.
No, this is Allies Convenience.
What? Wait, really?
Yeah.
When does Rohan ally with Rivendell?
Well, that's why the convenience. Impossible would be like Rohan with Numenor.
Yeah, but let me check. This is so weird.
It's definitely convenient. Yeah, it's a convenient ally. So neither of my armies need the arm bonus because obviously foot Rohan, I don't care, and then I've only got 7 bows, so I don't really care about the Rivendell bonus. But yeah, so first game played against one of the Scots guys called Ross, who had Sauron with Bite Numenorians and Spears, heirlooms. It went the typical heirlooms route of I find the prize, run away. Ross can't do anything about it. Just standard.
When heirlooms goes wrong, really.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get unlucky and that happens in heirlooms, and it just sucks to play.
Oh God, Quinn, bonus. Second game with good was against Jakob, who also had pretty much basically the same list with Sauron. This was Hold Ground. I set up kind of badly and then made a few mistakes.
You played 2 Sauron lists?
Yeah. Probably one of the reasons this list didn't do very well.
I just remembered what your Alright, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I had some rough games with this list, to be fair. So yeah, he managed to just walk through me with his...
You were pretty tired, weren't you?
I was completely shattered in that game. Thankfully, I was playing good old Quinn and the game after that with a cup of coffee, so came back. Then third game was against Mr. Ed Ball himself, who was running 2 Bat Swarms, a Cave Drake, and 3 Fell Beasts in Capture Control. Probably the funnest game I've ever played against Ed, for the pure fact that going into it, he knew his list beat my list, and it didn't really matter where he placed, so he was a lot more chill than other games I've played, because I've played some games where it's been like, 4th game we're both on 4 wins, so obviously he's playing a lot more competitive. But yeah.
Yeah, I glanced back and saw you playing that game. I was like, good luck, and then like I think 40 minutes into the round, I like looked over to your table when ours had finished up or something, and you had like 10 models
Yeah.
left, and I think you killed one bat swarm, didn't you?
I killed one bat
Let's
swarm.
go.
I got the Dark Marshal and Kamal down to 1 will, and the Witch King down to 3 will.
I think that's just the standard Fred.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the standard
Fred.
Fred.
I've played him. Sometimes it feels like it's really close, and then it's like, nah, it's just always 1 will is like comfortable Fred. I think sometimes.
So I got 1 win, 2 losses with this list. I'll probably, I don't know if I'll try this kind of thing again.
I don't think Elrond's worth the points.
Elrond's good. The foresight points is actually really nice.
Yeah.
But for this list particularly, the Rohan. If I'm running this list, Rohan won't change. That will probably stay the same. That half is what I take with them. Potentially the new Mirkwood, depending on how Thranduil works.
You can laugh for him, surely.
The issue with Galadrim is I've got no knockdown. Like this list struggles if I have no knockdown, which is why I run Arwen. If the new Thranduil has Circlet and is cheaper than Elrond, I'll probably run Arwen and Thranduil.
Because
depending on the allies bonus.
We've lost the Free People's Thranduil, haven't we?
Yeah, Free People's
is
gone.
That you used to take, so if that makes a return,
maybe. I don't think it's going to be as strong as it used to be because Sorcerer's Blast got nerfed and Stormcallers. It's amazing list. Helmingas are beautiful.
Anyone who's ever played against that Thranduil throwing up Aura of Dismay, then Nature's Rafting you on a 6 and knocking down your entire army and then sitting 6 inches behind his line with his Elven Cloak denying you leader points. Anyone who's playing against that,
I think it's fair.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what side of the table you're on. I have played it before. It does not feel very fair. I played it with Hobbits, with Double Wizard, and then Thranduil leading elves. So. Strong list. What was your evil?
So my evil, for the once again, let me know if you can't read that very well. I can kind of squash it a bit to fit more of it on. Like that, make it a bit bigger. So this was the one and only Impossible Ally at the tournament.
You cut out for a chunk there, sorry. For me at least, I'm not sure if it came through on the stream.
This was the one and only Impossible Ally that was around the event.
Oh, the one, the only.
Ended with 2 wins, 1 loss. So
what was your final record? 3-3?
Yeah, 3. I got 3 wins day 1, 3 losses day 2. So strong. Basically, the whole point of this list is Hunter Rocks on the front, Spears behind. Got the Shadow Lord, so I don't care about shooting. Mercenaries, I think, are really strong. Golem, I think, is incredibly strong.
Yep.
Threw them all together, and I don't care that I'm impossible. The armor bonuses.
Oh yeah, it's impossible, isn't it?
The armor bonuses for me in this list don't matter. And the fact that I've got a Taskmaster is actually huge, because it means that any heroics I call with the Hunter Orcs, I could potentially get for free. So it means I can keep calling heroics with the Hunter Orcs. Same with the Goblins and same with the Mordor. And the fact that I was impossible helped me more than it hindered me, because it allowed me to heroic move with my Hunter Orcs, charge in, and then my opponent does their move, and then I react with all my Spears and Shadow Lord to whatever they've done. Worked really well in first game, which was against Harry Parkhill with his triple trebuchet threat, which thank God I had the Shadow Lord. If I didn't have the Shadow Lord, that'd be the easiest game he'd ever played.
I think the Shadow Lord's still really good. I think we'll see him show up.
Shadow Lord's super good.
I think this list is a lot better than the good one.
Yes, I definitely agree. Yeah, I guess there's not really much to say except I ran his Gondor. I've got Hunter Orcs the moment I killed, because he had a mix of Minas Tirith Warriors, Fountain Court, and Rangers. The moment I killed enough of his shield wall, I just mopped through the entire army, pretty much.
It's like a type of list that you'd expect to see in maybe the old rules with a couple tweaks, where it's a good fighting force with a wizard, with some utility.
Yeah.
Golem's been added in because
Golem's been added in
to magic, I'm guessing.
Because of Mobilize. Yeah, the fact that Mobilize no longer halves, the fact that I've got Golem, who's fight 5, so he's never losing on fight value in a combat.
It's just a good fighting force with Gollum, Ringwraith, and the mercenaries, all of which are good utility. So yeah, it's a really good list. Game 2?
Game 2 with this army was against Joshua Bryant's Fellowship, which was Fog of War. I could have got a major win, but I played it. I didn't expect, because he chose to kill Gollum. I chose to save Gollum. Aragorn literally ignored my entire army and just ran past it to get to Gollum, which I just did not expect at all. So Gollum got jumped on. Gollum and 2 Hunter Rocks nearly killed Aragorn because of the ring, but he managed to, in the end, to kill him off with Gimli. I killed Bill, who was my target, destroyed Sam with the Goblin Mercenaries appearing on top of him.
I can't believe you picked Bill.
I knew
Surely he's going to be hiding him away somewhere, right? Or
yeah, but then I just compel him out.
I guess.
What is it?
I would have picked someone like... Was you running Legolas on a horse?
Yeah. I managed to table him in the end, so it wouldn't matter which I picked. But I mainly chose Bill because I'd want to kill him to stop him giving them points.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's fair enough.
And then the final game was against the legend, Mr. Quinn Duggan himself.
In the chat.
Which was horrible to play against Army of the Dead. Oh.
No fury. No fury.
Yeah. No fury. Warhorn saved my life. The fact that I had a Warhorn made that game close.
Did you have the King of the Dead too?
Yes. So he had Harbinger. Yeah. Oh my... And his... You may have heard throughout that game Quinn shouting, "Banner!" Every time he made a reroll. It was just, "Banner!" And he always rolled 6s. It was crazy. One of the funnest games I played in a while. Because of that, Quinn, you got my most sporting vote for that game. It should have been a very one-sided game, but it was actually turned out to be very close. But yeah, the Warhorn was MVP in that game by far. It's just super good. Definitely, if I run this list ever again, I'm not removing that Warhorn.
Yeah, I think with the reduction in Fury, you'll see Warhorn showing more.
I know Will
used to take one in his Hunter Orcs.
The fact that my Hunter Orcs don't get affected by Mordor Fury is... I have to take the Warhorn because it affects everything. One consideration, maybe take a drum. A bit faster.
Yeah, I know Jay took one. Drums
but I think that only affects Mordor Orcs.
Oh, in that case, it's not.
So
you can do
not.
With the Troll Drum effects. The Troll Drum's Mordor, not Orcs. But yeah, I think drums are decent.
Is it Mordor? I don't think it's Mordor.
I think drums.
I don't think Troll. I'll quick check. I think it affects
I think the Troll Drums are just all Mordor models.
Fair enough.
But we'll see.
Oh yeah, because you could do the Great Beast of Gorgoroth thing with like 20 drums. Oh yeah, Mordor. But yeah, I think I like that
drums
list.
are decent because it gets you marches in too for free. Which if you're not taking captains, which you might not be, you might not have access to march. So Warhorns are really good.
But I definitely enjoyed that list.
Super important in good versus evil.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, Quinn. Yeah.
Would you think they're more important in good? I think they're just important anyway in case of hitting Fell Beasts. Like I'd be more worried about hitting things like Fell Beasts and Terror Causing. I think there's more Terror Causing evil models, but that might just be a holdover from last edition with Fell Beasts because now there's the Elven Lords, there's Army of the Dead, which maybe get played. I don't know. I think they're just decent in general. There's just a lot. I think they're 30 points now, aren't they? For a Warhorn?
Yeah, same points.
Yeah. They were 20 in the old rules for the most part, I think. I'm pretty sure they used to be 20, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know.
Either way,
this look good.
I'll probably run this list at more 800-point events.
Yep.
I think it's good.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Any standout moments for you across the 6 games?
Dunno. Don't think so. Not really.
I'm trying to think of mine. So obviously you mentioned the Rohan heroes killing all 4 Candish chariots in the turn. That was cool. There were.
Yes. Against Harry Parkhill. So he had Denethor as his leader, who has 0 fate. He had 3 trebuchets, so he was like, "Yeah, I'll take a shot at Fimble because Fimble was gonna rip some guys apart." Rolls a hit. Rolls a 1 on the scatter. I choose Denethor as the target. Denethor gets 1 shot by the trebuchet. He killed his own leader.
It's actually really thematic, though, isn't it? It sounds like something that might have, like, that could have happened in the films. That moment was probably more true to the films than Your Evil Army.
Yes, indeed.
That was funny. But I played the Fellowship, so I had a few that were kind of cool. I think I had what's it called? I played 2 games against Jack. When the first one was obviously capture and control, I'd picked Malhair to kill.
Yeah.
He'd picked Merry to kill. So he swung a Warg Rider around because of how I was moving around. I was like trying to minimize the amount of models that could get into combat with me at once, just obviously. But he swung a Warg Rider around, and there were 2. I had Merry and Pippin guarding basically Frodo and Gandalf, so he couldn't get past them. And he was going to charge 2, and then he just charged Merry. And I was like, oh, Merry's the one you want to kill then. He was like, who knows, that type of thing. So he rolled his 2 dice. I think he got a 5 for the Warg Rider.
Yeah.
I went, okay, Merry's 1 dice, got a 4. And I was like, Merry's going to die to this Warg Rider, and I'm pretty sure he wants to kill him. Merry will spend 2 of Boromir's might to win the fight. That was so satisfying. And then he like made his escape round the back of the Fellowship, and I was like, he's gonna live. And then he pelted, I think, Rasco and the 12 crossbows into him for 2 turns in a row, just threw about 5 combats, killed him in the end. But it was super cool to use the new Boromir rule to feel like it actually made a really big difference to the game, or could have done. And then in that same game, Malhair was standing at the terrain piece that he'd chosen to capture.
Yeah.
And he realized that I wanted to kill Malhair when 3 turns in a row, Gandalf immobilized and compelled him towards me. And then Legolas was one-shotting him or putting 3 shots to him, desperately trying to kill him. And the very last turn, Jack shot first, managed to hit, I think, of his like 4, I think he had 13 shots or 14 shots. I think he managed to hit 11 of the 14 with crossbows and kill Legolas in a turn through 2 combats before he could shoot. So Malhair was alive on 1 wound, and I was like, oh god, I'm not going to be able to kill him now. And then next turn, Gandalf used his 3 points of will, cast Sorcerer's Blast, and killed him with a Sorcerer's Blast. I was like, nice, recovered. But that was funny. Anything else? I can't really remember, to be honest, besides that. I know I had a Candish Chieftain fight off Gwaihir charging him 3 turns in a row. Where if he'd have lost 1 combat, he would have got knocked off his chariot and died. That was pretty funny. But yeah, just over. Oh, there was also against Dave Murphy. He got free unlucky a couple of times. He rolled Blinding Light. He didn't want to channel it because he didn't want to use the might.
Yeah.
But he rolled 1 dice on it for 1 turn and rolled a 1. And I think he might. No, he didn't cast command and he had to might it up, so he dropped 2 might. And then the next turn he rolled a 1, I think, on the Blinding Light.
Yeah.
And had to spend a might to get it off or something. Or he just let it drop and it was really close to losing horses again. And the next turn he was like, fine, I'll roll 2 dice at Blinding Light. I was like, double 1. And he rolled a double 1 and he was like, oh god. Watching him try to decide whether to might spend 2 will and a might point just to get Blinding Light off for a turn was really funny. But yeah, Fellowship's a lot of fun to play if you get moments like that. But yeah, super fun events.
Yeah.
Do you want to jump onto the top list now?
Yeah, so I'm just going to throw Quinn's. So Quinn came 5th overall? Yeah? Because Callum came 4th, yeah. I believe so.
Callum came 2nd, right?
No, Callum.
Callum.
Yeah, Callum.
Oh,
Yeah.
Callum.
So there's a good list. I'm just going to rush to the toilet and you can chat about this list.
Yeah, so it's a themed Dead of Dunharrow list.
Yes.
That's
so
pretty cool, actually.
I should be back in a sec.
Is it just... Oh, it's just Aragorn and... It's just Aragorn and Lords of Army of the Dead. Oh, I'm kind of intrigued to see how well this did. You had a troll throw a stone at Boromir and kill his horse. Dude, whenever anything like trolls or ants get kills with stones, even though they're like strength 8 or strength 10, it always feels like you've stolen something because they hit so awkwardly for their points. It's like 5s to hit for an 80-point model, but... I had 5 cave trolls, I think, because I was playing an all cave troll army. Throw 5 rocks at an eagle and kill it, and that was really satisfying too. This dead list is really good. I think Aragorn in Army of the Dead list is really good because they really need the might, because they don't have access to any besides the 1 from the King of the Dead now, and the free 1 every turn is really good. I'm guessing you didn't put him on a horse, because I'm guessing you didn't put him on a horse for theme and stuff like that. Aragorn with Anduril armor and Elven cloak. I don't know. I'm intrigued to see how the King of the Dead. I still think the King of the Dead's not that good. I still think Army of the Dead aren't that good, but you obviously did kind of well with it. Kind of well, very well. It's a 52-person event. I don't know. I'm confused. Unless it was the ones that gave you the losses. You obviously beat Gethin. I don't know. I mean, I'm really interested. Just super themed. Fair enough. This list. It's Gethin's left me with this to talk about, but there's so little I can talk about because it's just loads of Army of the Dead. I'm guessing that because there wasn't as much Fury, that the Terror was relevant. I'm guessing Harbinger of Evil was relevant as well, not just for the Courage, but also for the To Wound, because you strike on Courage. I'm also going to guess that the being able to walk over water features didn't do anything. Maybe it did, but I'm just going to take a wild guess and say that it didn't. But yeah, it's just overall a decent force. Yeah. Is Aragorn pointed right? As Gethin, I think Gethin's added the points. I'm pretty sure Aragorn's 210 with those upgrades, but that list seems really cool. Betting out with the Dead. Oh yeah, it was against. I remember you saying actually it was against Josh Bryant with his Eastlings, ending on the first turn. Yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and guess that there weren't many Furies around, so you probably did well for that, and then you hit low courage armies. But yeah, just a cool list. Super cool to see it on top 5. To see a list like this on top 5. I'm really glad that you. I'm really glad that you left me, Gethin, with this list to talk about. That is literally just Aragorn, the King of the Dead, and 30 Army of the Dead. This is the most one-dimensional list you could. I was like, yeah, it's cool. It's a pretty cool list. There's a lot of Army of the Dead. I don't know what to say. There's nothing. I think you've added up the points for Aragorn wrong too, because he's 210. But
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But...
I think I just threw it in.
Yeah, but no, it's a cool list. Yeah. I said Aragorn's good in the Dead list because he brings might, which he doesn't have.
Yes.
Oh, you can take 15 guys in a warband.
King of the spell, yeah.
No. I mean for just the normal warband.
Oh, there's no cap.
Oh, is there no cap?
It's 8+. You can take a warband of 60.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
That's insane.
So.
Oh, but you've got to take the king, don't you? I was like, what if you just took like 30 rides of the Dead in one warband?
You have to have
You have to take the king.
Every force must have one hero, so it's the same for Wozers. You have to take Garn.
Betrayed. Yeah, it was already a cool list. I'm surprised. I'm surprised. I think it's better than it's like obviously better than it was.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that Army of the Dead got better. Made a big enough improvement to be good. So it's cool to see it place 5th.
Mhm.
I'm wondering how much of that was matchup depending, like running into things like you that didn't have Fury, because Fury's not taken as much now.
I was gonna say, Quinn, what other matchups did you have with this army?
He played Josh Bryant's Eastlings for one of them, and that was the one he lost because it ended really early.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the third one was. But do you want to jump over to the evil one? Because I've talked about this for a little while. So.
Throw up the Quinn's evil with his infamous stone throwing trolls.
Yeah, he said that troll throw a stone at Boromir and kill his horse.
Yeah. Right, there you go.
So what's this one?
So I think we'll see a couple of other. Oh, is that your side?
Yeah, that was me. It doesn't want to open the image.
Oh.
Cursed list.
Against Isengard. Yeah, I can see it working alright against Isengard.
Yeah, so it's a bunch of Courage 3 troops that drop to Courage 2.
Yeah.
And then Force to Wound, Terror Tests. I imagine Harbinger of Evil is really good, to be honest. The more I think about it, the better I think it is.
Harbinger of Evil is really good, especially if you play against Orcs, because they go down to Courage 1, which is why you need a Warhorn.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we had Gothmog, Gurrit, and Gothmog's Enforcer. So the 2 new heroes, which are really good. I've run them a couple of times.
Gurrit is the one that's reinforcements rolls, right?
Yeah, so Gurrit is basically the evil version of Madril.
It's so good.
It's a really, really good rule.
So good. Even when he's not in a reinforcements mission, he's still free might, Moran and Orc Captain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Berserkers. Oh yeah, I can imagine they.
Yeah, I can't kill Berserkers for
Aragorn's job.
Yeah.
The king going to fight 5 2 attacks. It's probably good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still think he's kind of mediocre.
Yeah, but yeah, so we had was it like a bunch of Morannons and 2 Trolls. Yeah.
I think Trolls are good now. Just because there's a reason. Back in the old edition, there was no point in taking Fight 7 or anything, because it's like, well, I've got Fight 5 heroes with Ring Wraiths and Fell Beasts. They're going to immobilize you and take you down to Fight 3. And if you do strike, so can I.
Yeah.
So it's like, I may as well, right?
I think it's the same with other monsters as well.
Now having these high fight value monsters actually is relevant.
Yeah.
And then you could just push them into, I mean, obviously not heroes like Dain and Dwalin and Aragorn that probably kill them on fours, but like a lot of heroes, you just go have a troll, have a troll Glorfindel, have fun with that. You lose a combat to it, it's just like you're dead.
Can't rank Glorfindel, but yeah.
No, but you can just hit him normally.
Bunch.
Force to wound.
And then against normal troops, it's a troll still, so it's still pretty good.
Yeah. I'm guessing, how many models was it? 41? My only fear would be it breaking and running away, but I mean, it's Moran and Orcs, they don't die quick. It just looks like a decent list. I was talking to you before the stream that I think that these battle line lists that just take hordes of high defense troops are going to be good, so yeah, Gothmog's really good now.
Do you have to buy the mace, by the way, Quinn? Isn't there Moran and Orc with a mace?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. Just when I read the list and you'd specified, I don't think you have to specify that kind of thing.
Wait, did they not come with maces? I thought there was a model with a mace.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I haven't actually read the profile. Yeah, there's one with a mace. So yeah. So I don't think you actually have to specify that in your list, but you had the 3 with mace, which is the bash.
It's not bash.
Yeah. It's still not bad. Strength 4. So
making really, it's not good though, is it?
It's not bad if you run into like a hero. Well, no, but it's always been relatively good. It's just not been on par with Piercing Strike and Fame. You run into a hero, if you manage to win fight, you knock him down.
So. Profile is axe and sword.
Morannon's sword, mace, and axe.
Or axe, not all 3.
Or axe. All 3.
That'd be waving them around. But...
Crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't take them.
It's a cool list. Again, cooler lists now. You're seeing just hordes of orcs with Gothmog, what you'd hope to see. Palinor Fields, again.
Yeah, Gothmog.
Cool themed. But I think this one's good.
Gothmog's Enforce is really good as well.
Standard strong list, double troll is maybe new. New edition, good, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I don't think there's loads to say about that.
Just... I really like
I also
Gothmog.
kind of want to race through these.
You need to.
Yeah, if you don't mind, just because I'm a bit tired. Not tired, but we've got like 8 lists to go, right? So I figure we just don't sit on everyone for like 10 minutes.
Next up would be
Callum. Because Callum placed 4th.
So Callum's 4th with the pure Mordor force. So once again,
we're doing evil first.
Yeah, just doing evil. So he's got 40 Morannons, Tracker. He's then got Shagrat, Witch King, Gorbag, Shaman.
Yeah, Witch King's really good. Yeah. Easily the best Wraith now.
Witch King with the
crown on him, and he's disgustingly strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, just again, horde of Morannons. It hasn't made use of the new Gothmog heroes.
No.
I think when they come out...
He's got the buffed Shagrat and Gorbag.
Yeah, I still think you'd want the reinforcements one.
Gotcha.
Callum's still valuing Shamans for Fury, which is fair enough. If you're going to hit Army of the Dead, it's going to be good, but...
Yeah.
They just have Transfix too, right? I think they still cast Transfix on a 5 as well.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Fury and Transfix are the same for the Shaman. And
they should cast it on a 3. I think they should cast it on a 3. Because like it's nerfed Transfix, right? And everyone's got resistance to magic anyway now, except Aragorn, so who cares?
The big guys, yeah.
I don't know. Like you got what? Gandalf the White's got Fortify Spirit, and then there's like Glorfindel's Fortified, Elendil's Fortified. The entire Numenor list is resistant. The entire Lothlorien list is resistant. Maybe a 4 would be okay.
Yeah.
Quinn wants his 3 points back for those maces he bought.
Got ripped off.
Yeah.
But no, once again, that's a strong round list.
Standard list. These are the ones that I expect you'll start seeing people standardizing into as a default good list.
Brands are coming back.
not convinced. Like, I know everyone's rating Shagrat. I personally am not convinced that he's better than like Gothmog for 20 odd points more, or the Guritz or someone for 60 points less.
Gothmog helps out your army a lot more, because obviously he's got the within 3 inches hatred against men and 12 inches once per game bubble. But the fact that Shagrat's 5/5, strength 5, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, 3 might, 3
Strength
will,
5,
3
3
fate.
attacks with knockdown with the shield.
And he's got the knockdown. And Blood and Glory as well. So if he hits hero, kills it, gets might back.
I'm not convinced for Fight 5, personally. Fight 5...
Strike.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's definitely a captain killer.
Maybe it's just me and my premonition. Yeah. He's really good at killing like Gondor captains and stuff. But I don't know. I'm not. He's okay. He's 115 with the shield and the heavy armor.
Yeah.
Gothmog is with shield and heavy armor 20 points more. That's when you put him on the Warg too, I guess. But then the Wargs.
Why would you not?
Yeah, I mean you would, but yeah. I mean, I think for me, I'd just go Guritz, Gothmog, and then probably Gorbag. Because Gorbag goes to Fight 5 when he's outnumbered too. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he's a lot of points for a Fight 5 model, personally.
That's fair.
But I don't think he's terrible, but don't think... Yeah, there's just other heroes that I personally would take first, but... I don't know, maybe you want him just to gun through people.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a standard good list.
I definitely think that Morans are going to be coming back because of the...
Because of
the buffs to Mordor heroes and stuff.
Oh yeah, Moranans are still...
And not just Fell Beasts being the strong stuff.
Yeah, I mean... I'm trying to think of what's similar to them that might be better, but I mean, just strength 4, defense 6 for 8 points, 8 to 9 points. Yeah, but they go up to 10. The thing with Uruk-hai is that you want the defense 6, but they have pikes, not shields, not spears. I think if Uruk-hai had spears, you'd see them all the time instead, because they have pikes. They can't take shields, which means half your army's defense 5, and then it's not even half. It's like 2/3 because you want crossbows too.
Yeah.
And they're all defense 5, and then you've got a third that's pikes, so they're all defense 5. I don't know. Uruk-hai might be better, but I still think Moranans are probably the stronger between Moranans and Uruk-hai, just because they have access to spears instead of pikes.
One of the best troops, definitely.
Yep, definitely.
Points for points.
I think you'll see balancing back for the best shield wars in the game is Morannan Orcs, Iron Hills, Gondor Guard of the Fountain Court, potentially Uruk-hai, and potentially Eastlings, but I think Morannans are definitely the staple for the evil shield wars. So just standard good evil list. Bouncing over to his good.
Yeah. So we got Gil-galad with 12 High Elf Warriors, which all have Kingsguard, so fight 6. 6 Rivendell Knights, all with shield. Allied with the Lothlorien force of Haldir, Rúmel, and Gladrim, with a single Wood Elf spear.
Yeah. What do you think of this one? Scary.
Yeah.
Gil-galad's really good. He doesn't have... Does he have Fortify? I don't think he does. Let's find out. He's really strong. Mounted with Strength 4 with +1 to wound is on an Elven made weapon. Is really good. Fight 6 bog standard troops is really good.
Yeah.
Like 12 points for a Fight 6 defense 6 model with a shield and a spear.
And you can
Courage 5.
You can even put them on the front, or you can stand them behind the Gladrim warriors.
Yeah, I've played against Kingsguard before. They're really good because Gil-galad's gotten better. They're even better now because you're not as gated by him struggling.
Yeah.
He doesn't have Fortify, but
he's got Blood and Glory.
Yeah, I know, right? He's got Blood and Glory, Terror, and then Lord of the West. Lord of the West is so good.
Lord of the West is
Personally, I'm not as big a fan of the Wood Elf contingent. I know why he brought it in. It's because they carry 3 might apiece for Haldir and Rúmel. And then 3 might apiece is really good, and it means that Gil-galad can spread the might himself. I would have liked to have seen at least Círdan, because I think Círdan's really good, like really strong. Because he's a really cost-effective way of getting Blinding Light. He's so much utility. He can cast Aura of Dismay and Blinding Light, as well as Command and Enchanted Blades. So, like, worst case, he's an Aura of Command Enchanted Blades.
Yeah.
But then Aura of Dismay is probably even better now than it was because Fury's not here as much. And Blinding Lights, I think Blinding Light's really important.
And he gets free will.
Because I think shooting's going to make a big... Yeah, the free will point of turn's really good. I think he's resistant to magic as well. But I think shooting's going to make a really big return because people aren't going to be willing to take wizards as much, like Shadow Lords, because they want to try out other stuff.
Yeah.
And then if everyone's not running Blinding Light every game... Because, like, you either played Defense 7 models or Blinding Light, it was one of the two, or occasionally you'd hit a list, like 40 mana orcs that wouldn't go for Blinding Light, they'd go for Lightning and Dying instead. But... yeah, it's just I think Serdan's really good. So I think Serdan would have been better than maybe Haldir.
Yeah.
I also think I'd like to see Serdan Arwen leading more high elves, but then you don't have any might in the list. Yeah. It's the only fear. But
and Rumil's really good.
Yeah.
Parry's super good.
Yeah, I think Serdan here instead of Haldir. It's not so much low model count, I guess, but. It's what, 37? I guess that's reasonable.
You'd like drop that Wood Elf and maybe a Gladrim to make them all high elves. No, just the Wood. No.
The Gladrim are defense 6 now.
Oh, I'm saying if you replaced Haldir with.
Oh yeah. You could just replace them point for point, right?
Yeah.
And then.
Oh yeah, and then you'd get.
Warband in the room melts Warband.
You'd get 5 points extra to upgrade the Wood Elf to a Rivendell as well.
I'm not sure how worth it Kingsguard are. I think they're really good, but are they good enough to warrant taking Gilgalad over Elrond or Glorfindel? I'm not sure.
I wouldn't take 12. I think 12's too many.
I don't.
No.
1 point upgrades. If they were 2 point upgrades, I'd agree. But...
oh, is it only 1 point? I thought it was 2.
Yeah, it's 1 point. I thought they were 2 as well, but they're only 1 point upgrades.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
You do for every model in your army, make them all fight 6 because it's really good.
That's
maybe not Bowman, but. Yeah, I think.
Surely, especially the Bowman, right?
Because you want them. No, because the Bowman are in the light, so they're not allowed. Yeah, I know. I don't know. But yeah, I think it's really good. I think it's a good list. I'm not sure it's optimized as well as it could, but I think it's along the lines of what could be one of the best lists in the new edition.
Yeah.
And, okay, so on to third place.
Before we jump to third, because we were asked to have a look for any, like interesting lists, I want to give a quick shout out to Dale Gray's Army of Dale army.
Dale placed 8th.
Dale placed 8th overall. Nearly in the last game was against Cal when he came second, so could have placed second if he'd have won that game. With Army of Dale.
Yeah, he went 4 wins, 2 losses, and he played Army of Dale with Fror's Warriors of Erebor.
Yeah.
And for his good, and then Balrog and Moria for his evil.
But
the Balrog Moria went 1 win, 2 losses, and the Army of Dale went 3 wins, 0 losses.
Dale has not lost a game with his Army of Dale yet. He's currently on an 8-game winning streak, I think, including Ed Ball.
Ed's triple Felvi's Cave Drake, double Bat Swarm, Girion, Army of Dale, and Fror with Warriors of Erebor.
Justice has been served.
Yeah, just this hashtag. They don't need the banner.
They don't need a banner. They got Erebor. They don't need a banner. Right. I've played against that list. It's got so many shots. The amount of bows that army has plus Girion is terrifying for a lot of armies. First time I've ever seen Dale at a tournament. As in, like, the Army of Dale at a tournament.
He did it for a joke because his name's Dale Grey, and he was like, "Well, if I'm called Dale, I've got to bring the Army of Dale." But yeah, I've seen them before. Yeah. I mean, they were at Seven Stones, if that counts. I think I've seen them at GT, but they're not considered. I've played them before. They're strength 3, defense 5 with a shield, so they tend to just not do very well in combat. All they really have is the fact that they're really cost-efficient shooters. But yeah, it's impressive.
It was really cool to see that very different kind of list, and with the potential buffs to like Erebor with the Grimhammers.
I will also say that I think it was less because the list is good, and more because it's a new edition and people are trying out new stuff and they aren't. Like end of last edition, everyone had it all solved pretty much for the most part. Everyone knew what they were doing and it was all very standardized, whereas this one everyone's doing different things and trying out new stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more mistakes getting made. So I think that it's less that Dale's good and more that they've had less that Army of Dale's good and more that they've had more opportunities to perform because the lists around them are worse.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, it is cool, super cool list.
It's cool to see. It's basically the new Wood Elf bow spam.
Yeah, it's Army of Dale.
But yeah, so
can we do Jasmine's good first?
Do you want to do the good first? Okay.
Yeah, just because it comes back to basically what I was saying about what I think is a really good list. One of the potentially best lists in the format.
Oh, okay.
Because it's got Gilgalad
There you go.
with Serdan this time.
It's incredibly similar to what Callum took, but pure Rivendell. So Serdan, Gilgalad, Glorfindel, and she's taken only 4 Kingsguard.
Yeah, there's less Kingsguard, there's no Rivendell Knights.
Loads of elves.
It's just Hoarded Elves with 2 of the Lords of the West and Serdan. And I think this is potentially one of the best lists in the new edition. It's just expensive to get it all in, but Elves are good, Serdan's really good, Lord of the West is really good, and it's very hard to deal with, so I think, yeah.
I just realised Glorfindel Lord of the West has the Lord of the West special rule.
Glorfindel Lord of the West has?
The Lord of the West special rule.
He does indeed. Did you not know? Did you not expect it?
I didn't know he's called Lord of the West, I'll be honest.
Did you know?
But yeah, Glorfindel, Gilgalad are monsters. They just tear through so much.
Having access to Kingsguard is good.
New High Elves are really strong because 3 Elven Blades.
Yeah, they're really good in basic fights. You've got some of the best scrappy heroes in the game, alongside one of the most points efficient utility hero. I'd say the most points efficient utility hero.
Yeah.
To have ever existed in the game, because there's 3 iterations of the rules.
4.
I think 2. There was the original Lord of the Rings, the Hobbit, and this one.
No, there was one before the Blue Book.
Oh, was there?
There was original, then there was Blue
There was the
Book,
original Journey books. Were they different rule sets though?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
So this is the 4th edition.
But yeah, I think he's really good. Potentially too good. I think his casting values. He maybe casts spells a little too easily.
We were saying earlier how Iron Hills are probably the best, like some of the best troops, and Moran's some of the best troops. High Elves are also up there for the pure fight. Elves in general, but High Elves especially, and Galadriel especially. Defense 6 Elves
are always going to be good.
The
only reason that they didn't come in as quickly as I think the others did was because their heroes are very expensive, and they don't hit strength 4. But then of course, nor does Gondor, and I counted them. I think I just blanked on them, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, Elves are really good. This army's really good. I don't think there's much I can say on it more than that. It's just, again, a little low on models, but it's all defense 6, courage 5, so not that big a problem. With blinding lights, you're not going to shoot it.
Yeah, cause how many bows was it? 10, only 10 bows, but still.
You reroll feather odds to hit, which is really good in the blinding light matchup.
You're standing still.
Yeah, but in blinding light matchups, you're re-rolling 5 of the 6 dice you throw. So it's actually, I think it's better than I initially thought it was, but we'll see. And then the evil list.
So her evil list is very similar to 2 we've looked at already. Gothmog.
Another Moran and Orcs.
Yeah, it's Moran and Orcs again. Gothmog, a 2/7/0 Ringwraith.
Oh, it's not just another Moran and Orc.
Gorbag, Kardush, and the Mordor Troll Catapult without 7 heads?
Without?
It's not.
We were saying you think you would always take it.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's... We're not certain. We think you should always take it.
Yes. Yeah, 160 points base.
Maybe she did and we just missed it.
No, this is her straight list.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
I'd have dropped an Orc to give 7 heads.
Yeah, it's 5 points.
Yeah. It's going to do a lot more than Orc, I think.
Not all the time. Sometimes it will. But yeah, I think, yeah, definitely.
I guess you could argue because it was good versus evil, she expected to face
it's
high
probably
courage.
less relevant, but I still think.
Yeah.
For the
potential to do so much damage.
Yeah.
Because it's
for the bog standard Rohan matchup. for the Helmingers matchup.
Yeah. She just wanted to counter me.
Yep.
She could do it.
Go back third.
Very interesting to see a 2/7/0 Ringwraith.
0 Ringwraith. I would have put 1 fate on it.
Yeah, 1 fate is
I guess
pretty
she's
scary.
just willing to take the risk or just hide it behind stuff. I think 2/7/0 is reasonable. I think you always take 2 might as your
Yeah.
first. Whenever you take a 55-point ring wraith, if you're going to make it any more than 55 points, 2 might is always the first 2 things you put on it. Don't go like 171 unless it's your leader. If you're making a 55-point ring wraith, your leader, what are you doing? Unless you're like, I don't know, maybe you could in like a really low points. But,
Yeah.
I think that Magic's again more of a utility, and having something like that can just, that casting every turn isn't as relevant anymore. It's getting that one turn where it's important, and having the might to drive the dice up and the might to channel. So I guess it makes sense. It wasn't something I considered, but I think it's reasonable. Again, just big orc blob. Gothmog's in it, he's really good. Gorbag's in it, he's really good. Kardush is in it. He's really good because he has the fireball, doesn't he?
He's got fireball, and he can also he can kill himself to give wraiths will, and he can kill orcs to give himself will.
He casts on a 3+2.
3+ on fireball. Flame blast.
Saruman casts it on a 5+. So Kardush is much better.
He is a fire caller.
Yeah, but it's a strength 6 hit. That's really good.
Strength 6 hit. If you really want to channel it, it's a blaze instead. But
yeah, which is you can do it with like Saruman if you want to set like Aragorn on fire.
Yeah, I would never do it with Kardush because he's only got 1 might.
He's only got 1 might. Yep.
But you guaranteed that you're not going to roll a 3.
Yeah, but I think it's really good for like picking out Guard of the Glathrim Court or horses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just things that are in the way. Killing a model in the movement phase is really good because it means that if they set up their walls to stop you from getting through, you can kill one and get dudes through. But yeah, Kardush is good, and he brings Fury. He brings Fury, and he's not just Fury, and he can lead 12.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and it's the fact that even if you get Fury off, so you've got the courage check, you can 1 dice Flame Blast, and then just consume an orc to get D3 will points back to go up to 3 again, and then Flame Blast, kill another one, Flame Blast. So
feel free to disagree, but these Jasmine's lists seem to be the 2 most new edition lists. Like she seems to have adapted to the new edition faster than other people. For me, I don't know. Even because I know what the next 2 top lists are. These look like
Jay's Evil. I think is very
new edition. Yeah, but edition. It's kind of. He's had a lot longer to play it, but I still think these look more like new edition competitive lists than Jay's. Personally, I think that the Sirdan Double Lord of the West looks like new edition, especially Sirdan. I think that Gothmog new edition, Catapult's new edition, Kardush is definitely a call that I didn't notice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's really good. He's really good. Gorbag and Ring. Yeah, I think that everything she's taken screams to me that she's played a decent amount, and I think she's got a decent grasp on what's looking like it's going to be good. But we'll see. It's a lot of models. It's 40. It's not a lot, but it's a fair amount when you've got a catapult.
44. 44 is about this. What most armies were averaging, I think.
Yeah.
And
the troll. I think it was a little less than that. I think it was around 39, 40, I think, for most armies. But yeah, I think the troll catapult's an interesting call. I'm not sure if it's good. I'd have to see how it played. It's nice to threat them, but I'm not sure whether it's good enough on its own.
The fact that you get a troll with it. So
but then you've got to drag it around to keep the troll.
Otherwise,
the troll's gonna. Can the troll leave it?
I assume so. It's just a crew member, right?
Crew can't leave the siege engines.
They don't?
They've got to stay near it. Bard can leave his windlands, but I think he's an exception.
Don't know. I don't really know the rules for siege engines, but I thought you could just leave it.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to see if I can find it, so I don't know if you want to go on to the next one.
Yeah, so next one. So Jasmine came third, really well, and once again, one-upping her for second weekend in a row.
So obviously she came second at Stockport, and then Calman came first.
Yeah, so Calman came second. You may recognise this list from earlier. Wait, is this actually the right list? Yeah. Yeah, this is the right one.
It's the exact same list that we already talked about.
Exact same list we spoke about.
Points.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's down to, 7 Iron Hills Warriors?
Yeah, a few warriors and the goats. Doesn't have any goats in this list. Except the heroes. But yeah, once again, this is an incredibly strong list.
Same as before. Ballista's good. Yeah. Big heroes are good. Iron Hills Dwarfs are good. It's just low model counts. Yeah. And it's like noticeably lower model counts than other lists. 29 is very low. For 800, you'd want at least 35. I think 34 was, Jasmine's good, and I think that was kind of cutting it close. This one is very much, that's not a lot of models.
Yeah. With this
Everything that's in
list,
there is really good.
you need the 3 heroes and the blister to be killing stuff to make the model count equal and put it in your favour. Because the moment you have more models than your opponent, you win this game with this kind of army. So yeah, we've spoken about that one, so might as well jump over to his evil, which was a... if I just get it... So we had a Doggle Wraith army. Pretty much, he had no idea what to run for evil. And Cowman is a very much dwarf player. He plays dwarves, and plays dwarves, and that's it.
He wants Jay to release evil dwarves,
Yeah.
so he can play dwarves for both of them.
For evil as well. So he had no idea what he was running for evil, so I suggested might as well just run Doggle Wraiths because he's got them painted and he's enjoyed playing them in the past. Yeah, it's a very standard list. Necromancer with 7 Wraiths, not including the Abyssal Knight.
He got lucky on scenario draws.
Yes.
So he got
Lords
to
of Battle.
the death and Lords, right?
Yeah, to the death, Lords of Battle were 2 wins he got.
The 2 wins, and then the one game he lost was hold ground with this list.
Yeah.
Against
Jay's
Jay's
good list.
Lothlorien,
Which pure
which
Lothlorien.
is all Elven Blades, so they're -1. So the fight 5 winning roll-offs on a 3+ and -1 to the roll.
Yeah.
With resistance to magic army wide. So the one game that he lost was an incredibly grim draw, to be fair. But
However,
his other draws with this list were very good.
I said this to him on the day, and I still think this is true. This was the best matchup he could draw against Jay. Because Hold Ground is this army's one of the worst missions. Lothlorien is one of the worst matchups, and Jay is a really strong player. So
it's best to get all
of that in one. Because if he'd have played this scenario against someone else and then played Jay in a different, like into the death, that would have been 2 hard games.
And then played a Lothlorien list for his 3rd one.
Yeah,
probably would have been 3 hard games.
So I still think, although obviously it was an incredibly tough match, I think the fact that it was 3 things that were against him in one match was actually beneficial overall.
Just as a heads up, for the number to kill to break, isn't it still 4?
No, you have to exceed.
You still have to exceed?
Yeah, his break point would be 4, you have to kill 5.
Oh, okay.
The only changing to breaking, I believe, is you no longer round up. So if you have 7 models, your break point is 3.5, so they have to kill 4.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure that's correct.
One other thing that's changed in the edition for this list is Kamul has a 2-handed mace and no other weapon, so he has to go 2-handed.
I spoke to Cowan about this, and
a lot worse.
Yeah, Kamul was the worst Wraith for him. The only times he was any good was when he was in combat with another Wraith at the same time, which you don't get a lot in this kind of list.
Yeah, because you don't have the models to...
The only issue with if he took a Wraith instead of Kamul, it'd be an Abyssal Knight, which their special rule is they teleport to the other Abyssal Knight, but if you've only got 1, it's literally no special rule. So it's either 3 attacks at -1 or no special rule on the Wraith.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So Kamul's still okay for that scenario, but yeah, he's still the worst. One of the worst, or definitely the worst, I think, of all the Wraiths. All the other ones did a lot of stuff, Slayer of Men,
the Burly ones
people.
were really good.
Yeah.
And, they're obviously going to be really good.
Slight nerf, obviously, to Necromancer with this Chill Soul channeled being useless now.
Can't bomb people with it.
The worst channel in the game, I believe. Plus 6 inches to the range. It's useless.
What else is there? His magic got worse, so he got worse. Sauron's a better caster than he is.
Mm-hmm.
Like the full power Sauron. I get why, but it feels like he needs a bit of an update to drag, because I feel like the Necromancer should be a better caster, even though he's weaker than Sauron, but in his like mace form. But I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see both the Calm's lists and when the new Hobbit book comes out.
Yeah, see what changes.
Because both of them are going to be in that book as Dumbledore and Iron Hills, so see what, if anything gets nerfed, if anything gets buffed. He'll probably still run that Iron Hills list.
He's not playing it because it's just... He's not playing it because it's strong. He's playing it because he likes it. It just happens to be strong.
Yeah. And I've told him to run it.
Do you want to jump onto Jay's list? So Jay Clare, the rules writer.
Good or the evil?
Place. What's that thing that gets posted to the GBHL? You can pick, by the way. What's that thing that gets posted to the GBHL all the time? You can't beat him, you fools. He writes the rules.
Yeah. I'm talking about rules writer. Let's talk about the ring writer, ring creator.
Sorry, you cut out, so I didn't catch that.
That's fine. Don't worry.
Was it a terrible pun?
No, I messed up.
Because that's not. Oh, I messed up. Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry about it, Josh. Don't worry.
Which one are you doing first?
Evil first. So he has got the Dark Lord Sauron, a Orc Captain, a Shaman, a Drummer, and Orcs.
Yeah, Horde Orcs.
Yeah.
Standard. Sauron's really good.
Yeah. Sauron is super good.
You played against him twice. Did you want to talk about Sauron?
I don't like him.
I
preferred the game. I think I've spoken to a lot of people about this. Don't worry. Shut up, Quinn. I didn't say anything.
If you want to put it in the chat so I know what he said, because he cut out.
Basically, I said, talking about the rules writer, and here's the ring writer, meaning to say the ring creator.
The rules creator.
So not only was it a bad pun, I also don't know how to speak. Armiadale did beat Sauron Dale.
Oh yeah, so they took down Sauron, 3 of his servants, a cave drake, and then Easterlings.
But yeah, I was speaking to a couple of people about this. I think I even said on the stream. I don't like Hero Hammer. I don't like big heroes being the strongest thing in the game. That's just personal preference, and this is like intensified when you get something like Sauron, where to beat this army you have to deal with Sauron in 75% of the scenarios, because it can't be broken. You have to deal 3 wounds to Sauron to be able to break it. If you somehow kill him, they're automatically broken. Sauron is so hard to do anything to.
Sauron for me is that you can might, because he has might, he's worse than the Balrog, because the thing with the Balrog is you can sling some dudes into him and hope to win a combat if he rolls badly, whereas Sauron's just going to might it up and win anyway. He's
got 4 attacks, so he's probably rolling a 5 at least, and then
he was free last edition.
He's now a monster, so he gets all the brutal power attacks. He's got some of the best spell casting in the game.
18-inch Chill Soul.
18-inch Chill Soul on a 4+ is ridiculously strong. 18-inch Transfix, Compel, Drain Courage. 4+ Sap Will, joint best Sap Will casting. He can choose to brutal power attack every single model of the combat once, rather than just normally.
Watching someone, I watched someone use Dol-Amroth pikes into that, and that was sad to watch him lose those combats.
It's the thing of the best way to deal with this kind of guy is to hope they don't get a 6 and mob them. But then if you mob them, they do get a 6. Sauron
you're all going to
them all.
Which I think is fair, but I'm going back and forth between he's kind of meh. The list's kind of meh because it's bog standard orcs, and I don't know if people have played against bog standard orcs before or that much, but they suck. Strength 3 defense, fight 3, strength 3 defense 5, courage 2. Not very good.
I think this list is better with the other variants, with the Black Numnorians at the front. Obviously, Jay managed to win with this, but I still think, as a standard list, Black Numnorians are better than the orcs. I personally don't like Sauron being meta. But
I think we're
gonna have to work out to beat it.
I know. Was it Jakob?
Jakob was loving it.
Jakob, that's he thinks he's really good. I'm mixed. I'm hit or miss. I haven't really played against him. I know that I watched. I think Sam Jeffrey was playing it. And it was like he had like an orc tracker, Sauron, and 2 fell beasts. And he killed whoever he was playing killed the 2 fell beasts and the tracker pretty easily. And it was just his army fighting Sauron. And when I arrived at the board, he was like, "If I don't win this combat, I don't think I'm going to have enough troops anymore to kill you, even if should I win the next 3 or 4." So it's just Sauron just taking the entire army apart, and there was nothing he could do about it because he kept rolling 6s. The best way to deal with models like this seems to be siege engines, taking big. So you either pick to try and kill all the orcs and then mob him over and over again, or go for a really ballsy play basically and try to sling like Fried into him, heroic strength, piercing strike, two-handed, and try and hope to God you win the fight and mighty blow him to death or something. But yeah, he seems hard to deal with. I think you'll see more people, but I think people are going to put more things in the list that can deal with big heroes now. So we'll see whether he's definitely okay. He's probably good. I'm not convinced that he's really good, but he might. Some people are.
Yeah.
We'll see how it develops.
I hope he drops off. I hope he drops out of the meta. That's all I'm gonna say.
He's got the Smaug thing where it's fun to play against once, and then every game is like.
Yeah.
Okay, and then his good list. Probably the nicest top table list you could ask for. It's just Galadriel, Celeborn, Haldir, and a bunch of elves. Literally it.
Yeah, I don't. When I was like sorting out the list, I was like, what do we even say about this list?
I don't think it's terrible. I think it's fine.
I think it's terrible, but there's nothing like.
Yeah, there's nothing stand out. Galadriel's a lot better, I think. Celeborn's really good now, but yeah, I think it got okay draws too, and I think obviously Jay's a really good player, so.
Yeah.
But I don't know what he played. I know he played Kalman.
Played Kalman with this list.
So that was like not an auto win, but as close as you're gonna get.
Did he play Will?
I think he did, yeah, last game. Oh, did he? No, he played Will's Iron Hills with his Sauron.
Yeah, he did.
So I don't know who else.
He played Matt Wild in game.
But that was against his Rohan. I just pull up the Warhammer community article that tells us what he played.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, it's an okay list.
It's not bad. It's just kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. It could be better than we think it is, but yeah, if someone that wasn't Jay ran this list against me, I don't think I'd be terrified.
He played Callum Farr Brothers Moria.
Okay.
In Relic. I think he dug up the Relic, and Callum managed to kill it.
But he was closer, was it?
But they dropped it in the middle of my model, so I still claim victory. Yeah, so he was closer. He played Callum Clapperton Brannan's for his other one. That seems pretty difficult, actually. I'm surprised he won that. Well, not surprised, but like that seems the toughest matchup.
Yeah.
I think he
against
like shot it. He got it to the death, so he was able to shoot off from it from a distance, which helps quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I think that I won't say he was just lucky, because obviously that's not the case. You can win a tournament, but people don't win tournaments just on luck.
Yeah.
Jay's a really good player, so he's not going to be making that many mistakes with this list. But the matchups he got heirlooms against goblins, and he dug up the prize by the looks of things. I'm not certain, but it looks like he dug up the prize.
And heirloom's just a very fluctuating mission.
Yeah, so I think I won't say he looked. I think he would have played it fine, but yeah, I think he was on the right side of the heirloom on that one. And then the next one was against Dolguldur, which is his game to lose, really. Like, it can be an upset, but it's probably not going to be. And then he got a good scenario for the last one. So
yeah,
I don't think this is a terrible list, but I don't think you'd expect to see it frequenting top tables. Celeborn's good, Galadriel's good, and then Defense 6 Elves again are good, but they seem to be the lesser cousins of the High Elves, really. Yeah. Unless Magic returns in a big way, and then Resistance to Magic might be really good. But
yeah, Resistance to Magic's one of the weaker armor bonuses, I think.
Yeah, it depends. I think it might be okay. It depends what you draw. Like, if you draw like the Necromancer,
that's one of the reasons I think it's one of the weaker ones, because it is completely draw dependent. Like the Rohan one, you'll always benefit from that.
Yeah, but then if you draw like Saruman or Gandalf the White or Sauron with it, or the Necromancer with it, you should probably just win that matchup, just because you can deny a good 100 and 200 point hero just with your army bonus. But I don't think it's a bad rule, but situational.
Yeah, definitely.
You also got in the number of bows wrong in the list. There's 13.
I was only doing Warriors.
Oh, well, that's a disappointment. Okay.
Because that's for Bill, isn't it?
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
It's a lot of models, actually, but he's hoarded out a bit. Both of his lists were 40 plus models, so.
J-lists.
I think you will see. you will see a lot more lists with more models now. I think that Calman with his 29 model dwarf list was playing it risky, personally. But yeah, that's all the lists that showed up. They're a lot friendlier than I think the old tournament lists were. A lot more interesting.
Yeah. So got two things though I want to ask you, Josh. So first off, which evil and which good list from the top 5 would you not want to face?
I hate playing Dogwood and Askel. That's not like an... I just don't like playing them. I don't like that they come back on a 2+, they can mate it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they should be able to mate it. So I think you should, if they're going to die, you take the risk that you might not get the mate off, personally. But maybe take them to defense 7, and then they say they can't mate it. I don't know if that's too good. But I hate 2+ and mating it, because they never die and they slowly kill your warriors.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't enjoy playing that type of a list. The one that I'm most scared of in the top 5, I don't know. I mean, like 3 of them were the same. They were all just Moran and Orc lines.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm probably more scared of the Moran and Orc lines than I am of Sauron. But I haven't played Sauron, so I might be underestimating him. But I don't know. I've played normal Orcs before, and they just die.
Yeah.
They just don't do anything, and I feel like. Plus, I played a lot of Guard of the Fountain Court, which are really good into box standard Orcs, because they have higher fight value, and then they win them on 5s. Because for me, it's always been, if your army's defense 5 or less, I'm happy to play into it with like my armies, because in any matchup where you're defense 5 or less, I'll favour my Guard of the Fountain Court army, the one that I used to compete with. But if you hit defense 6, it becomes really difficult, really awkward and difficult normally. So probably one of the 3 Moran and Orc lists. Probably one of the ones with Gothmog. Probably Jasmine's, but I'm not convinced on the catapult. We'll see. I don't know. Yeah. Probably Jasmine's at a draw. And are you going to ask me the same thing for good? Was that what you said?
Yeah, so evil and good.
I'm not really scared. I'm not super scared of Jay's list. I wouldn't want to play Jay. I'd expect to lose against Jay, but because he's a better player than me. But I'm not really scared of his list. There's not many dwarves in Calman's Iron Hills list, so although I don't like playing Iron Hills, I wouldn't be terrified of that to draw that. Again, Jasmine's Elf list is really scary, or if Dismay's a pain. Then there was Quinn's Army, the dead one. I mean, that's technically the scariest, if I'm being honest. I think Jasmine's lists are probably, for me, the scariest to play against. Personally, what about yourself?
I'd agree with Jasmine's for the good, but I think I'm more scared of Callum's evil, with the Witch King on the Fell Beast with Shagrat, Goldberg.
Yeah, I think that if the Mordor catapult wasn't in, and there was something else, like more Orcs with like, I don't know, another hero, I'd be more scared of Jasmine's. Or even just the Witch King in that list. But
yeah, get rid of the Troll, upgrade the Wraith to be scary.
Yeah, to the Witch King on a Fell Beast. And I think that list would be scarier, but I don't know. I haven't played against enough of these lists to convincingly say.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah. I think Jasmine's lists to me look like the ones that have surged most into competitive new edition.
I think she's definitely, because you were saying a lot of people have brought stuff they want to try out and test and stuff.
It looks like she's tested a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and she's looked at
of tournaments.
What's quite good and strong and stuff.
Yeah. But that's all the lists. Stirling's a fantastic tournament. If you can, I mean, I always say potentially the best on the calendar. I'd probably say it was.
I think it's.
I love your tournament, Gethin, but.
Oh yeah, they're definitely. I think of all the tournaments I've been to this year, it's definitely the best.
Your favourite? 2 years in a row, I've loved the boards this year, especially were fantastic.
Yeah.
The best boards I've ever played on.
You guys can see there's some like images there being going through. I got a slideshow.
The boards this year.
It's really nice.
I kind of wish I'd gone around to get pictures, but I didn't bother. But the boards this year were incredible. On every single board was brilliant.
Most of them had like Lord of the Rings feel to them as well.
Yeah. There were like 3 Minds of Moria boards. There was Amon Hand.
There was Minas Tirith ones. There was the trolls. Did you see that one?
Yeah,
they got the 3 trolls painted them like stone in the middle of the campfire.
I managed to play my Candish on the Candish board, which was really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the boards were incredible.
The one showing now with Mogul.
Yeah, just fantastic. The venue is incredible. It's really spacious. It's the exact amount of space you want.
Yeah.
So it's easy to maneuver. The only thing is that it can be a bit of a hassle if you're way on the furthest corner table and you've got to go all the way around from Maelstrom.
Yeah.
But that's going to happen at any venue. It's like unavoidable. So I think for me it's the best venue. They do drinks there. It's great.
Space between boards is.
Space between boards is literally. It's half space. Oh, that's really good. And then the tournament itself, the scenarios were all brilliant. The tournament pack's great, and you have plenty of time to finish the games. I think it's 2:15 for a game.
2:15, yeah.
Yeah, it was 2.5 last year as well. So yeah, and they're always it's incredibly well run. So for me, it's the best tournament on the calendar. I think the only ones that come close to me are potentially. I didn't go to Stockport this year, but I remember really enjoying Stockport last year. Obviously the GW events, but I still prefer this one to GW. And I'm trying to think what else. Beacons of Chester, obviously. I think those two.
Definitely the best event. And then I really like the GTs, as you said. The GTs are very fun.
Super fun.
I quite like the Cardiff ones are usually quite good as well.
Yeah, but Firestorm ones.
Firestorm's a really nice venue.
It's one of the big four for me are Firestorm, Common Ground, which is the Stirling. So Firestorm's Cardiff, Common Ground, which is Stirling, Element, which is Stockport, and then Warhammer World. Yeah. For me, the only thing, Firestorm is my least favourite of the four.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
Personally, but I've only been there once, so.
Yeah,
incredible tournaments. If you can get to it, please.
If you get to it next year,
try.
wait
it's
until
a long drive, but it's worth it.
Wait until the second day so I can buy a ticket and then buy a ticket.
Yeah.
Basically what I'll say.
Don't steal our tickets.
Yeah, we want tickets. I
think that's everything.
I was going to say, were there things that you expected to be there that wasn't? Because the one thing I expected to see stuff, which I don't think Dale even ran any, were Gundabad Shamans. Dale may have had one. Callum may have had one.
Gundabad Shamans was expected.
I thought that'd be more.
Where were the Fiefdoms lists? Fiefdoms is a really good faction. I don't know if people just haven't had. There were like one or two.
Callum Farbrother had Fiefdoms. That's it.
I think it was him that was playing Sam Jeffrey actually. There was with the double file, at least he couldn't kill Sauron. But, I don't know. I didn't see many Fiefdoms lists. I think Fiefdoms are really, really good.
Yeah.
What else was there?
Although there was quite a few, I did definitely expect more Rohan. I thought Rohan would be the most popular good list.
Yeah, same. I expected more All Heroes than there were. Ed played All Hero, and then there was Matthew Wielding's.
Both the
more Harad. There were a few Harad lists. I think Matthew Wielding ran Harad, and then there were a couple of the all-mounted Harad. I know Ryan Hinch ran it, but I don't know. I don't think people have jumped on that with quite as much vigor as I expected them to. But then Ryan said he didn't like it as much because it wasn't resilient enough.
Dale, you wouldn't have thought those because it was good versus evil. I understand the Mana Hero thing, but you wouldn't have been against Wraiths, Barrocks, or Saurons.
Yeah. Mana Hero might be a thing. But then, I guess it's relevant for Goblins, because if you could have taken the Balrog. I don't think the Balrog's worth it. I think there's too many other things in the Moria list that are too good to take the Balrog.
I guess you wouldn't
rather
run it in
have
a
a Cave
list.
Drake and then a bunch of Goblins.
Dwellers, I want to say Dwellers really are really good. Fight 7 on a monster with movement 8 is super good.
Really, really good.
Especially when we were talking before about like trolls with Quinn's list, the fact that you can just run into a 5/6 hero and force them to strike. Dwellers do that exact same, and they're cheaper.
There are quite a few all hero
and they get wounds
back.
Just regaining wounds.
Yeah, the Dwellers are pretty good. There weren't as many shades as I expected to be, but I guess people are trying stuff out.
Are there any shades?
Yeah, I played against one.
So okay.
John Young took one.
Did Harry have a shade? Harry may have had a shade.
Did Harry have a rough run? He lost to Matthew Wielding game 2, I think, against this Harad that he took Franduil and Bard with like a bunch of dudes, but I think he got blasted by Harad.
It was quite funny with the Eagles lists. There were two exact same Eagles lists, and if Dan had come from Chester, it'd been 3. Because it was Aragorn, Gandalf, Gwaihir, and 3 Eagles. It's a super strong list.
I think the people are still learning it too. But
Yeah.
I think that's going to be really
Seems
scary.
Ian Spiller and Dan Hookville brought that
The
along.
only problem that I've had people say is that it's still only 3 attacks on the charge, and they still don't have the might to guarantee the fight. But
Yeah.
I still think they're really good.
Scary list to play
I'm
against.
trying to think what else that I was expecting to see that I didn't. There was more Isengard than I expected.
Yeah, I didn't expect a lot. I didn't expect many people to bring
I
Isengard.
like how Isengard are balanced internally. I think they're really well balanced against one another.
No.
But you don't.
They're pathetic now. We're my berserkers. No.
Berserkers were disgusting. But yeah, there's not so many interesting things in the list, and there were loads of Isengard lists.
Yeah, Thryden's really good, I guess.
There weren't as many Avenger Bolt Throwers. Avenger Bolt Throwers, they're really good. That's how you killed Sauron and the Balrog. You shoot them with strength 7 Avenger Bolt Throwers that don't scatter.
Okay.
You take 3 of them. 3 of them. That's 3d6 shots. You're like 10, 5 hits. That's 2 wounds on the Balrog, turn 1.
Okay.
Yeah, like three turns of that. He's pretty much dead by the time that he gets to your lines. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Less wizards than I expected. I think people have pulled back on them too hard. I think Evil Saruman's really good.
Yeah.
I still think he's really good. I still think you should take him.
I think he's really good.
700 plus.
Isengard being weaker is the only thing. I think.
Yeah, potentially.
Because you want to take
not as much Rohan, not as much
Trident.
fiefdoms, not as many high elves, not as much Zerdan.
There's loads of high elves.
What's that?
High elves was second most good list, wasn't it?
Maybe. Well, there wasn't as much Zerdan. I don't know. I didn't see Zerdan loads. Yeah, I think that's about it. It would have been cool to see Bilbo with the ring showing up, but every other matchup was Sauron, so I guess he would have had it taken off. Yeah. If you got 40 points left over and you're playing Rivendell, just drop Bilbo with the ring in. So.
Is he only 40?
Yeah. It's the good Gollum.
You sure?
Yeah, I know.
What?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's only 40 now. Yep, 40 points.
Where is he?
It's
Oh
15
my.
for the coat and 5 for Sting. He's defense 2. He's defense 2 with 2 wounds, but he does have 3 fates.
How much does the coat give him? 3?
3 defense, it takes him to 5. I don't think it's worth it unless you're really expecting him to get shot. But
Yeah.
just put the ring on if you don't want to get shot.
Yeah. Charge Frodo and like Gil-galad into the Balrog. No, Bilbo and Gil-galad.
Yeah, put Bilbo in 40 points with like the Walls of the West lists. That's how you do. I was about to say that's how you do a Sauron, but no, Sauron has the ring.
Yeah,
so
Sauron takes it.
There's no having the ring.
No.
Feels bad. That's how you do it with the Balrog. Give him a ring to deal with. But, yeah, not as many shades. Yeah, but I think it's people are just trying stuff out and having fun. So
yeah. So next GBHL event is Reading, which is on the 24th, I believe. What do you expect to see?
I don't know. Is it a competitive tournament? It's 100, isn't it?
100 points. I'd assume Moranon's High Elves are gonna.
More of the same.
I
think people will still try out lists.
Moranon's High Elves and Rohan are expected to be the top 3.
I think people will still be trying stuff
Oh,
out. I don't expect to see things standardising until mid next year.
Yeah,
To be honest.
we're on Stockport next year. Maybe the first.
Yeah, I think you'll start to see the same few lists popping up again and again. But
because there could
I
be.
don't know, I think you'll see a bit of everything. I think you'll see less Balrogs and Saurons, but I think you'll see. I think Aragorn's overrated.
Yeah.
Because he's not resistant to magic, and the only reason he's plowing through everyone is because no one's bringing magic.
I think Aragorn and Balrog are definitely overrated right now.
Yeah, I think Balrog's really overrated.
Yeah.
I know Barney was like smitten with him, but
Barney and Jay really like it.
Jay said it was good, but he said he didn't think it had graced top tables in the Ardacon when he was talking about it. But
can't remember.
I don't know. I think it's decent, but it's just for me it doesn't quite take it. When there's things like cave drakes and black shield shamans, there's just the bat swarms. There's just other things I want to do in that list.
Yeah.
But
well, that's the thing.
yeah, I think
didn't see like prowlers.
Yeah, no one was bringing the prowler lists.
No.
Maybe people don't have them. I have 16, but I'm not playing them.
There you go.
Yeah, they go to fight 5 when you trap people. Throwing weapons. There weren't many Corsairs, were there?
No,
There was one Corsair list,
I think so.
something like that. So,
Which I didn't-
but yeah.
Yeah.
The Ents showed up, didn't they? I didn't play against them, but they did show up.
Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
pure end list, and then Sam Jeffrey had Treebird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's.
That's that.
Unless there's anything else you want to say about the Stirling or Stockport.
I think we've
Except
covered
for
it all.
the great events, definitely attend them next year if you can.
Yep.
I
I would say plug the league finale, but
Nah.
sold out.
So yeah, so stream wise, I've been contacted with a guy called Leon, who I can't remember where the event was, but it's a European event. He sent me a couple of the lists from their tournament, so we may review those and Reading at the same time.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a stream for
Throne of
Skulls, League
right
finale, and then potentially another stream going over the Hobbit book. But depending on how much has changed, we're not
yeah,
sure.
we might pair it with a tournament and do that too.
We may pair Throne of Skulls and Hobbit book together, and then have League finale on its own, because then we can talk about.
Assuming it's released by then. If it's not, we might do League finale and Hobbit,
Mhm.
and depending on how much has changed.
Because with
What
League
else did you want to
finale,
talk about with League?
we could talk about like the overall year for the GBHL. Like
Sure.
go through like the top 10 players, the stats.
Do you want to do that as a stream? I don't know. We'll figure something out.
We could probably get Barney in for that because Barney loves his stats.
Yeah, he does indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. There will be more there.
Yeah, I'll be sure to throw up things on our Facebook page.
Yep. Keep a track.
Yeah,
Hope you enjoyed this ramble.
Yeah. So yeah, if you enjoyed, be sure to like us on Facebook. Be sure to send any messages or anything if you've got any feedback about the stream. Obviously, this is
Follow Gethin on Twitter. Do you tweet about this or no?
I don't use
You
Twitter.
don't tweet?
I don't use Twitter now. So, yeah, ignore that link to Twitter down below.
Follow me on Twitter. Actually, don't do anything on Twitter.
So go to our Facebook page, Hobbits of Cheshire, and also subscribe to us on YouTube. This VOD will be uploaded over the next few days onto YouTube, so if you've missed any of it, be sure to check it out there. It's where we stream everything on Twitch and then upload onto YouTube. It's how I prefer to do things. And yeah, I guess we'll
sign off there. Sign off.
I think the Reading event is it's 24th, maybe last weekend of November. We'll do a stream then. Oh no, because that's the same weekend as Throne of Skulls.
You just tell me. We could do it from Throne of Skulls.
Live from Bookman's Bar.
Oh no, okay, nothing for now, but.
No?
No.
Okay.
I'm just running ideas through my head. So.
But yeah, I guess that's everything. Thanks to everyone who's got involved in the chat. Thanks for everyone for watching, and we shall catch you guys later.
See ya.
See you around.